This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. After his post-game celebration at the Women's World Cup, including kissing one of his players without her consent, Spanish Soccer Federation President Luis Rubiales is defiant against what he calls social assassination. But the entire roster of the team and others now say they won't play for Spain again while Rubiales is in charge. The U.S. women's team falls to number 3 in the new FIFA World Rankings. Team USA had been in the number 1 spot for more than 6 years. Sweden is the new number 1. World Cup champ Spain is ranked 2nd. NFL preseason tonight. The 49ers host the Chargers. The Panthers host the Lions. The Titans host the Patriots. The Steelers finish their preseason at 3-0. Does that mean anything? Head coach Mike Tomlin.
You can't get enough of these opportunities in stadium. You work your tail off to simulate it in a practice setting. It is what it is. And so we'll comb through it like we always do in an effort to get better. And then we'll transition our attentions to the next component of this process, reducing our roster.
Mike Tomlin.
The new Venture X card from Capital One. Earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars and 5x miles on flights when you book through Capital One Travel, plus 2x miles on all other purchases. Capital One. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Miggity, Musu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Theriot, 1 hour from right now. Saints-Texans preview coming up. Ross Jackson in 15 minutes was there at Saints practice as they got work in the Dome. We'll walk through tomorrow, and then they'll play their final preseason game Sunday, primetime, Fox against the Houston Texans. So, again, we'll check in with Ross Jackson in about 15 minutes from right now. We have obviously been talking so much about LSU Florida State leading up to that game and talking about LSU's preparation. I thought this was a good opportunity to talk about Florida State's preparation, mostly because their head coach Mike Norvell met with reporters after practice on Thursday evening and gave the latest on his team and their preparation and how it's been going so far.
I thought today was a real solid day for us. It was good, good moments for both sides. Just continuing to push the consistency. First day where we did break up and got a significant amount of time with scouts. We continue to do our crossover work, trying to keep the speed as good as possible. There were some up and down moments on both sides, but I thought it was a really solid work day.
Solid work day for a team that has high expectations. Of course, LSU and Florida State both ranked in the top 10. Tigers are a 2.5-point early favorite in that ball game. It's hovered anywhere in that field goal range, plus or minus half a point there. But as of now, LSU, Florida State, it looks like the Tigers are a 2.5-point favorite. And something that Mike Norvell also said on Thursday is that he's taken the opportunity now to begin their preparation for LSU and not waiting until next week.
It was really a first day of getting LSU looks at things that we anticipate. LSU is so multiple on both sides of the ball, so there's an opportunity to get a lot of different formations, alignments, schemes defensively. It's a well-coached football team, so obviously we're throwing a lot at them, and I thought the guys did good with that today.
So much of this conversation this week has been about Maason Smith, and I understand why. it should be, quite honestly. Maason Smith is a dominant interior player, or has the potential to be, as we well know, a dominant interior player. And when you look at what transpired a year ago in this ball game, where Florida State put up 392 yards of total offense, they ran it for 132. I understand. I understand why, as an LSU fan or someone looking through the purple and gold prism, you're considering the impact of the loss of Maason Smith. We've talked about it a lot. I think, however, the more impactful matchup to watch is going to be the LSU offense against that Florida State defense. We've talked about it a good bit, but Florida State returns the most production of any team in college football this year from a year ago. The most production in the country. Defensively, if you just look at the defensive production returning, Florida State is second in America with 94% of their defensive production returning. And by the way, that's a Florida State pass defense that was 6th in America last year at 173 yards per game. If you're looking for context, the year prior, Florida State allowed 232 yards per game. Last year, it was 173. So they improved by nearly 60 passing yards per game from 2021 to 2022. And again, they were 6th in the country. And they returned darn near everybody from that defense. We all know about Jared Verse, some of the other guys in that front seven that are back. They lost safety Jamie Robinson, was an all-everything player for them a year ago. He's in Carolina now. They return cornerback Renardo Green. They returned safety Akeem Dent. And they added Fentrell Deuce Cypress from Virginia, who's a cornerback who was rated the number 2 overall player in the transfer portal by On3. My point is, that Florida State defense was really good a year ago. And they went and returned darn near everybody, including a guy like Jared Verse, who was a very likely first-round pick a year ago. And they added Deuce Cypress, who was the number 2 overall player in the transfer portal. They added Braden Fisk, who's a defensive lineman from Western Michigan that everybody, including LSU, wanted. They probably got better. The good news for LSU, though, is I think the Tigers got a lot better as well. Remember in this game a year ago, Florida State put up 392. LSU put up 348 in this game. Jaden Daniels threw for 209. LSU ran for 139. Daniels himself accounted for over 200 yards in the game. 300 yards. Jaden Daniels accounted for 323 offensive yards and 2 scores. I know there's a lot of LSU fans that still say you're not settled on Daniels or whatever. Listen to in this game a year ago, Jaden Daniels threw for 209 and ran for 114. A reminder that there was a chunk of the season when Jaden Daniels was your offense. Now you return that guy as a 5th-year player. You've got 8 scholarship running backs. You return 6 of your top 7 offensive linemen. Mason Taylor's a year older, wiser, more matured at tight end. And you got a whole herd of big, tall, fast, long, athletic gazelles at receiver. We should be talking more about the LSU offense, which, with a new quarterback, with a new offensive system, new offensive coordinator, 6 offensive line combinations in the first 8 games, no true running back that was your bell cow all year. Daniels was your leading rusher. A disappointing season for Kayshon Boutte where he didn't produce at the level many of us thought or hoped that he might. You still averaged 34.6 points per game. With that offense, LSU averaged 34.6 points per game. And you're more veteran and more steady and more experienced and more explosive this year. That's the matchup that I want to see. Oh, look, Jordan Travis is a good player. He's a really good player. LSU's inability to get off the field on 3rd down last year ultimately was its bugaboo. Florida State was 11 of 17 on 3rd down last year. That was your bugaboo. But for all the conversation we've had about Maason Smith, I get it. I get why we're having that conversation about Maason Smith. He's an impactful player. I mean, he's a game wrecker in the middle of the defense. He's a literal giant who wears number 0 and breaks your will. But I think the more impactful matchup in this game on a week from Sunday is going to be that LSU offense moving the ball against an experienced, talented Florida State defense to see if LSU can outscore Florida State, and I think set the tone for the rest of the season. Get excited about it as we get closer to LSU and Florida State a week from Sunday. All right, y'all, it's after further review. I missed it, Muse, so let's hit the open because I screwed it up.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Man, I was at the grand opening of the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge, new DraftKings Sportsbook in there as well, and went last night after I got off the air, and then went over to got off the air, went over to the Queen for their grand opening. They sort of like a VIP reception before the main event started, and they were introduced. I went into one of it was gorgeous, by the way. Like, I'm gonna tell you, everyone's hyped on. Look, L'Auberge has been a great property in Baton Rouge. The Queen is absolutely going to challenge it. I mean, it is pristine. It is gorgeous. The DraftKings Sportsbook is fire. They've got a lounge in there called 1717. It's a restaurant bar with a loft. All that's it's awesome. And they have a stage for live music in there. All that to say, when I went in, I went to the bar to go get a beer. I was getting a Bud Light, and a young lady came up to me and said, "Hey, the band's about to start. They saw you out here, and they don't have anybody to introduce them. Would you come up on stage and introduce the band?" So I did, and all this to say, it just so happened to be Parish County Line, which is also a proud supporter of Bud Light and Mockler Beverage. Bud Light is their title sponsor through our friends over at Mockler Beverage. Tell you all the time about Mockler. They're great. They've just made such an awesome investment into our local communities for 40 years. So drink easy in Louisiana with Bud Light, the official beer of the LSU Tigers, the official beer of the New Orleans Saints, the official beer of the Southern Jaguars. Support the company that supported our community for 4 decades. Mockler Beverage and our friends at Bud Light. Drink easy in Louisiana. Okay, let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Ross Jackson will join us. No Derek Carr on Sunday against the Texans. We'll catch you up on all the latest. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Love telling you about River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. And right now, you better know about River City's 1 Hour Air, because if you got issues with your home central AC, you got real problems when it's 105 degrees outside. Look, Eldrick Smith had an issue. He called River City's 1 Hour Air, and JJ came to the rescue. He wrote this 5-star Google review. JJ was awesome. He was very personal, down to earth, immediately went upstairs to my unit, no time flat, found the problem, walked me through everything he was doing to make the necessary repairs. No time flat, my system was back up and running. He also checked my equipment outside to make sure no problems had occurred. He cleaned the unit, had it looking brand new, offered me the opportunity to join their membership, explained all that intel. I became a member today. River City's 1 Hour AC should be proud to have a guy like JJ part of its team. Very satisfied with the work and service I received, and will recommend River City's 1 Hour Air. Well, Eldrick, you just did for lots of people to hear. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ram.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Oh, we're going to be joined by Ross Dellenger in 15 minutes. Delly has a little bit of news. He was able to speak to Brian Kelly on the record about the Maason Smith situation, and Brian Kelly did confirm to Ross Dellenger something we said here in a lot of different platforms, but Ross got it on the record from BK. He said, quote, Brian Kelly, we looked at all the options out there. Certainly wanted to make sure we examined everything possible. We looked at everything. We looked at a week 0 game to bring in another opponent prior to Florida State. We looked at every imaginable option, but time ran out. So as we told you here, one of the things that was considered was moving the Grambling game to week 0. BK suggests there that they looked at adding a new team for week 0, potentially playing a 13th game, presumably, but wasn't able to work out logistically. So we'll talk to Ross coming up in about 15 minutes from right now to get the latest info on his convo with BK. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. Saints-Texans final preseason game Sunday night in the Dome, primetime on Fox. Ross Jackson will be there. Of course, Ross Jackson of the Locked On Saints podcast. Good enough to spend a couple of minutes with us here. Ross, how are you, man?
Hey, buddy, doing great. It's always a pleasure to be a Ross opening up for a Ross. That's pretty dope, not gonna lie.
And Ross Geller coming up at 3:45. I can't back that up at all. Hey, hey, give us a sense. They practiced in the Dome today, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. They were indoors in the Dome getting ready for the game this weekend.
How did they sort of structure today's practice? Full practice, more of a walkthrough? How did they look?
Yeah, it was. I would call it a full practice because they went through like 7-on-7 drills as well as team drills, and the team drills got a little. I don't want to call it chippy, but mouthy, I guess. It's been a very vocal group these last couple of days, which is always a lot of fun to watch and practice. But, they were in shells, too, so there was a little bit of a lighter sort of feel to it at the same time. But a lot of what they started with at the beginning of the day for most of the position groups, particularly skill position groups and the defensive backs groups, was a lot of ball tracking work. So having to sort of be able to find the ball in the lights of the Superdome, trying to focus on getting guys ready for that, for game action on Sunday. So that was the early focus. And then after that, they kind of worked their way through their usual sort of team drills. We saw 4 team drills today, which included some red zone work as well as some 2-minute drill in the game work.
It's always interesting, Ross, to know who sort of the role check, right? I mean, as we're going into the final preseason game. So what was notable today about who was there, maybe who wasn't?
Yeah, one of the most notable absences today was actually, second-year wide receiver Chris Olave, who's been, outstanding this entire camp, and everyone's that's seen him so far is simply buying in on who he's going to be his second year. But it was a rest day for him, interestingly enough. So if you can imagine, some type of a statement being there to say, hey, how important this guy is to the club that he got a rest day in just his second season, pretty remarkable. So that was one of the big takeaways there. The other one was just kind of watching the quarterbacks get their work in, because we were trying to kind of deduce over the course of time how many starters we would see. A lot of us didn't believe we'd see many starters on Sunday. And so when we watch, guys like, Jameis Winston take a lot of those second team snaps as he usually does. But then when they did the 2-minute end of game drill or work at the end of the day, we saw Derek Carr do the first set and then actually Jake Haener do the second set, as opposed to Jameis Winston doing the second set, which I think seems to deduce or allows me to deduce, and it seems to indicate that Jameis Winston will start this game on Sunday, but Jake Haener will play the second half just like they did last week, as they were kind of getting him ready for a potential end-of-game situation where they're looking for him to maybe drive down the field.
Hey, what's been your opinion of Jameis so far in this training camp?
It's been a little bit of an up and down camp for Jameis. I would say a lot more up than down, but the down moments are definitely there. Look, he's turned the ball over. He's done those things. Decision making is still something that has been a little bit loose on his side, but that's not to say that interceptions aren't happening elsewhere. We've seen Derek Carr throw interceptions. We've seen Jake Haener throw interceptions as well. I know that there's a lot of sort of discussion around the idea that, hey, if Jake Haener, performs extremely well over the course of this offseason, would it lead the New Orleans Saints to trading away Jameis Winston? And that was one idea that I was usually pretty kind of hesitant around, because it didn't seem to make sense to me. And the biggest reason why is because you look at Jameis as a guy that has NFL experience, that has won in the NFL, that has also won in your system. And that could be really valuable as a backup quarterback, to be the guy on the sideline there. That brings in, more kind of insight on terms of what he saw on the defensive side when working with Derek Carr while the defense is on the field and things like that. So I think that those are the things that you're looking for from Jameis, is his ability to be able to kind of help translate the game a bit for Derek Carr, who's in a new-ish system, a system that's still familiar to what he's done, but still new. And so I think that that's the real value of Jameis Winston. But there has not been any question at all in terms of, who the guy is in the building. The guy has very much been Derek Carr, and the performances for both those quarterbacks tend to reflect that.
Ross Jackson is with us, Locked On Saints podcast. Rashid Shaheed's back. Anything notable there?
Yeah, they didn't have him participate in any of the team drills, so that seems to indicate that he won't, even though he's back at practice now, that he won't be a part of Sunday's game against the Texans. But what we did see, though, is him get involved in punt return drills again. So one of the big question marks going into the season was maybe as Rashid Shaheed's offensive role ticks up, that maybe his special teams or returner role ticks down a little bit. And it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. We've seen a lot of guys returning kicks and punts in his place while he's been out. Kawan Baker's been back there, Ugo Amadi, John Trey Kirkland's been back there. Alontae Taylor's gotten some opportunities there. But it looks like that's still going to be in Rashid Shaheed's sort of wheelhouse of being that returner, that primary returner for the team. So that's an interesting bit to just kind of keep an eye out on as a guy that's going to see his offensive opportunities tick up, but he's still going to be very heavily involved as a returner as well, it looks like.
Russ, what on Sunday do you think is at stake? Maybe another way to say it is, for some guys, obviously, we know they're not going to make the team, right? They're just putting out film. Mm-hmm. But for people or guys who do have something significant at stake, who do you think maybe is at the top of those lists? Most to gain, most to lose type thing.
Yeah, I think, guys that are like right on the cusp of the roster are the ones that you're really going to want to key in on during Sunday's game. Guys like Ty Summers in the linebacker room, for instance. He's a guy that came in last year about midway through the season, really kind of carved out a role for himself as a core special teamer. And now they've got him kind of learning all three linebacker positions. He's usually a middle of the field Mike linebacker type, but they've kind of got him working on both the strong and weak sides as well. And so, look, he has an opportunity here to show that he can contribute from multiple spots in the defense while also still being that core special teamer. I think that ends up going a long way for him. And that linebacker room has gotten just more and more populated over the course of this offseason with the addition of, a Jalen Smith who comes in and immediately carves out a role for himself. So I look at Ty Summers there. I look at the undrafted free agent wide receiver out of South Carolina State University, Shaq Davis, who just continues to make plays. He did it again today, too, Matt. He just keeps making plays for whatever reason, or not for whatever reason, but at some point, some switch flipped in Shaq Davis, and Shaq Davis went, "Oh, okay, I can do this," And so it's been great to watch. But if he's making a roster right now, is he making a roster as a sixth receiver, and will the Saints keep that many? And so those are the big kind of things you have to convince the organization of if you're that player. Is that I got to convince you to keep a 6 wide receiver, which means maybe keeping one less running back or one less defensive back or one less linebacker. Like, you're not just competing against the other wide receivers. You're competing against anybody and everybody who could contribute on special teams as well. And so I think that those two guys in particular, as well as a couple of others that are up there, like a Jack Heflin in the defensive line, an Nephi Sewell at the linebacker spot. But there's a few of those players out there that are going to have a real opportunity here on Sunday to carve out a spot for themselves, whether it be on the 53-man roster or on the practice squad.
Have you been paying attention to any of the rest of the division? I'm just curious if you have a take on where the Saints reside right now in the division as opposed to the rest of the division and how their training camps have gone. It's perfectly fine if not. I'm just curious if you've even taken like a peripheral view.
Yeah, no, for sure. We have. And, over here at Locked On, we're getting ready for our big NFL previews and everything like that. So we actually, all four of us on the NFL South that cover each of the four NFC South teams, did a show together to kind of do exactly that. So what I would say is that, in Tampa, the quarterback competition that probably wasn't actually a quarterback competition between Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask, obviously, publicly has been settled. It's Baker Mayfield, but there still seems to be some concern about how effective the team could actually be. One of the big things that's really interesting about the Buccaneers is that they dealt with a lot of injuries on the offensive line, yet Tom Brady last year was only under pressure about 20% of his dropbacks, one of the lowest in the NFL, if not the lowest in the NFL, in terms of like qualifying, quarterbacks that took enough dropbacks throughout the season. And so what's going to be really interesting is if that offensive line can protect Baker Mayfield the way that it protected Tom Brady, does that happen to elevate Baker Mayfield's game in some way to make the Tampa Bay Buccaneers better than they are expected to be? I doubt it, but it's something to watch out for. And then when you look at both Atlanta and Carolina, both of them have a lot of pieces that are in place, and they feel really confident about each of those teams going into 2023. The biggest question mark right now in Carolina, outside of the defense, is can the offensive line protect Bryce Young? And we've seen over the course of preseason and training camp that being the big struggle, is the protection for the young quarterback. And with how effective the New Orleans Saints defensive line has been so far this offseason, that's a really nice matchup for them, especially early in the season. They'll see them, week two this year. So, week 3, thank you, this year. So lots of opportunity there for that New Orleans Saints defensive line. If it starts to cook as early as it can over the course of the regular season, as we've seen it over the course of training camp, that could cause a lot of trouble for the rookie quarterback there.
Just to make sure I have it, I think it's week 2, right? They open up with Tennessee and then they go to Carolina, week 2? Yeah, 2. So
it is week 2. It is week 2.
It's Tennessee at Carolina at Green Bay, and then home against Tampa. It's, I think they got a real shot, Ross, to get off to a really good start against that schedule. I mean, I don't know how you feel, man. Going on the road to Carolina, it's never easy, but if you're going to face Bryce Young, I know it's his first home game, but I'd rather face him in his second start than his 12th start. So I think they got a great shot to get off to a good start. We'll see if they can do it. One more preseason opportunity. Make sure you're subscribed up to the Locked On Saints podcast. He's on Twitter at Ross Jackson Nola. Y'all give him a follow. You're the best, man. We appreciate you as always. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Right back at you. Take care, stay safe, and talk to you soon.
All right, man. Be well. That is Ross Jackson. Make sure you are subscribed up. It's a great time if you're not. You want daily Saints content, Locked On Saints. Ross is there every single day. He's got the YouTube channel as well if you'd rather watch than listen. Great content on the Black and Gold. All right, it is After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. We're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. Tell you every single day about our friends over at Shawbills. If you need tires, remember our friends at Shawbills are going to sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices. The best tires on the road for the cheapest price possible. There's just no reason to go anywhere else, because even if you buy tires at Shawbills and then you happen to find them cheaper somewhere else, they will reimburse you 125% of the price you paid. That's Shawbills. It's part of the Charlie's Dozen. It's Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. You can go to ShawBillsTire.com if you're looking for a career instead of a job. Nobody has the benefits like Shawbills does, whether it's health, dental, vision insurance, supplemental insurance, their Shawbills paid life insurance policy, whether it's the tool purchase program, paid holidays. There's so many reasons to go to work over at Shaw Bills. Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, Shaw Bills. We keep you rolling. Okay, it is after further review. We're glad you're aboard with us. Theriot in 30 minutes from right now. We'll get to the Riot Radio Hours. I'm excited to have Theriot in here. We're going to do a ton of football. I do want to get his take on the Shohei Ohtani thing. If you haven't heard yet, looks like he could be headed for a second UCL surgery. But that and a lot of other stuff we'll get to with Theriot. A Week 0 Pick'em is coming your way in hour number 3. What to watch, Saints-Texans, a ton to do. So that's all coming up with Theriot in about 30 minutes from right now. Let me knock out a break. Our buddy Ross Dellenger is going to jump aboard with us. We were just able to confirm him. So Ross spoke to Brian Kelly about the Maason Smith thing on the record. We'll let Ross fill in some of the blanks. We'll do that next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Weekend is upon us, y'all. We have actually been getting some rain. It was like manna from heaven to see the raindrops falling. So if you want to get out in the yard this weekend, go see our friends at Clegg's Nursery. You want to get those fall bedding plants in the garden or start moving that direction, go to Clegg's Nursery. You want to get that fall vegetable garden planted. It is time. I know it's hot outside, y'all, but it's the end of August. I mean, y'all, it's August 25th. I mean, it is time to start getting those seeds in the ground for your fall vegetable garden. Clegg's has them. They got Johnny Naylor seeds and everything you could possibly want that they'd have at a True Value hardware store. They have at Clegg's. So I tell you all the time to bypass the big box store. Bypass the big box store and support a local business that supported our community for 60 years. That's Clegg's Nursery. So if you need anything from plants and shrubs all in their full greenhouses to floodlights and duct tape at the True Value hardware store, you can get it at Clegg's Nursery. That's Clegg's Nursery.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, you can lease a new Toyota 4Runner for $489 per month. That's right, you can get a brand new Toyota 4Runner for only $489 per month. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water, they can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines, or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco, voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine.
after further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
All right, so earlier this week, obviously, the Maason Smith story dominated headlines. He'll be suspended for the LSU season opener against Florida State because of an autograph signing held just before NIL went live. Ross Dellenger, 2 days in a row. Delly wishes he knew how to quit us. He just can't do it. Ross Dellenger of Yahoo, just minutes ago, broke story where he got to speak. He got the first on-the-record comments from Brian Kelly about the Maason Smith saga. Delly's with us now. How are you, man?
Good, man.
Hey, so when did you talk to Brian?
It was early this morning. Spoke to him. I was, as it turns out, I was in Baton Rouge just literally for a few hours earlier this week, and couldn't get the schedules right, and so to get some time with him, so we decided to connect on the phone, and so it was this morning, and we talked for a few minutes about Jane Daniels and Florida State, but also obviously about this issue with Maason Smith.
So you were in Baton Rouge, huh?
I was for about 12 hours.
I mean, that's enough time to go have a whiskey somewhere. Plenty of time for that. Tell you what. What did Brian Kelly? So what was the most, I guess, interesting or newsworthy piece of what Brian Kelly told you about the Maason Smith thing?
I think the part that I found the most interesting was that LSU, exhausted all options, which normally would include appeals, which it did. It had at least 2 appeals denied. But the most interesting thing, I think, was that it actually tried to schedule a week 0 game so that basically Maason Smith presumably would serve a suspension during that week 0 game against, I guess, you would move up a game from this season. The one that makes the most sense, obviously, is Grambling week 2. You'd move that up to week 0. So they explored that possibility of scheduling some kind of game in week 0 and having Maason Smith serve suspension for that game, and then obviously would be eligible, because it's a 1-game suspension, would be eligible for Florida State. So that was interesting, and it was very Brian Kelly, because I don't know that a lot of coaches would have acknowledged that, but that is actually a great thing about Brian Kelly is he's pretty blunt and honest, and he kind of just says it, right, and it's actually pretty refreshing.
It's candor from a football coach it's refreshing. It's amazing. His program isn't falling apart with telling the truth about things. So they tried to move the game. That's something I know we had talked about here that wasn't able to work. Did he fill in any of the blanks, though, the particulars about the appeals process in particular? Because that's one of the things, Ross, that I know a lot of people here have said is, why couldn't LSU just pick what game that Maason Smith would serve? Like, why couldn't they just let him serve the week 2 against Grambling?
Yeah, so he did address that, and it doesn't work that way, unfortunately, for LSU fans. The NCAA is a pretty stringent rule when it comes to player suspensions. In general cases like this one, once a suspension is ruled to be final, then a player must miss the immediate very next game for which he or she is eligible and medically cleared. That is important, right? Because this ruling obviously came down last year, and presumably came down in the fall last season, when Maason Smith was injured and was not medically cleared, right? So he couldn't serve a suspension last season. And LSU they made at least 2 appeals, potentially even more. One of the appeals was to choose the game, given the circumstances of the injury, given the circumstances of the NIL stuff, can we choose the game? And no, that was denied, as well as an appeal that I think just like a normal appeal where the basis was the NIL case situation, right? That about a month before NIL and autograph signings became legal, this happened. And the NCAA basically told the LSU there's no grandfathered in clause. Like, when the autograph signing happened, it was at that time against the rules, and so there is punishment.
I guess it's worth noting also that Brian Kelly wasn't the head coach of LSU at that time. So to ask any question about what the policies were around LSU or education for players, I would assume be fruitless to ask him that type of question.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was 6 months or so, I guess, before he became the coach at LSU, and digging around on this with some folks, it's very odd. The timing of this is all odd, Matt. And Brian Kelly didn't know the details of it because, again, he wasn't here. So I didn't think, or he wasn't there at LSU. So I don't think he would know the details. But this suspension and this improper benefit must have came about, after the 2021 season, right? It must have came about after the 2021 season, or you would think those players would have had to miss a game in the 2021 season. So it was weird because if this happened in, say, I think it happened around late May or so in 2021, then, your suspension comes in 2022, in this case in 2023, but if he had been medically cleared, he probably would have sit out last year. But it's still over a year, right? For a year and a half for an impermissible benefit over an autograph signing. So that just tells me, I guess, with the appeals and everything, this was pushed, I guess. But also it tells me that maybe it wasn't reported real quickly, right? That's what I'm getting at, I guess, is that it must have been reported at a much later date than when it happened.
Well, ultimately, and again, Ross Dellenger, I spoke to Brian Kelly on the record today about the Maason Smith situation. Go to Yahoo Sports. You can read Ross's piece there. He's on Twitter at Ross Dellenger as well. Spent a couple of minutes with us here. You said that you also talked to Brian Kelly about Jaden Daniels and Florida State and all that good stuff. Anything else of note that BK had to say?
Not really. I thought it was interesting. I asked him for any fond memories of playing in Florida State because, at Notre Dame they play about, I think, 5 games a year against the ACC. They have an ACC schedule that makes up about 50% of their overall schedule. And so he's played FSU quite a bit, and I asked him for any fond memories. He mentioned the 2013 game against Florida State where Notre Dame had taken Florida State to the wire, and that's the year, of course, Florida State eventually won the national championship. And Notre Dame took the Noles all the way down to the wire and maybe would have won the game if not for a pick play, offensive pass interference call. So we talked about that a little bit. Thought that was pretty interesting. But he's got kind of a long history against the Noles with his time over there in the ACC.
This will be his 3rd consecutive season, opening with Florida State. 2021, his last year at Notre Dame. They opened with Florida State. That game that Notre Dame was winning big. They allowed Florida State to rally. Notre Dame won it in overtime, 41-38. So it's been a couple of nail biters the last 2 years. See, we're in store for a week from Sunday. All right, Delly, we appreciate it, man. Football season's upon us. Looking forward to catching up down the road, man. Thank you.
All right, Matt. Yep, thanks.
All right, Yahoo Sports. That's Ross Dellenger on Twitter at Ross Dellenger. Again, Ross got a chance to talk on the record to Brian Kelly. So BK confirmed a lot of the things that we said here, which was it was right before NIL went live. They did appeal. Appeal was denied. Not allowed to pick the game you serve. The suspension. They tried to move the Grambling game to week 0, which is something we told you here, and Brian Kelly confirmed all that to Ross. So good on Ross. Got BK on the record saying it all. So you can go read it at yahoosports.com, but I'll still, or sports.yahoo.com, but I'll still say I'm not going to minimize the impact of Maason. He's a great player. We all know it. but I still think so much of the onus of this LSU football team is going to fall on that offense because you return everything on offense and you lost a ton on defense. I mean, yes, Harold Perkins is back and you get Maason Smith off injury, but I mean, you lost your top two corners. You lost your leading tackler in Baskerville. You lost Jaquelin Roy. You lost B.J. Ojolari and Ali Gay. You lost so many guys in that team. I mean, I think it's expected that you're going to have a little bit of time rebuilding continuity, building continuity on the defensive side, that the offense is probably going to have to carry the mail early in the season. That includes in the opener against Florida State. All right, thanks to Ross. Appreciate that for a couple of minutes here. We're brought to you by Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. They do it all over at Relief Windows, and they now do shutters as well. I want you to do this. I want you to go to reliefwindows.com. Look, there's a shutters tab right there on the home page now. You tap the shutters tab, and you could read about their new indoor shutters that they now offer over at Relief Windows. So, yes, you want to beautify your home with the exterior windows and doors and siding and all the things that we talk about all the time. These interior shutters are also custom to your home with custom sizes, multiple trim options, the custom tilt rod replacement as well. It's all there with a limited lifetime warranty as well. It's at Relief Windows. Yes, they are windows, door, siding, but they are also experience, quality, and service, like we always say. And now they are shutters as well. Finest materials with the latest technology. They're moisture and humidity resistant. They insulate 65% better than wood. They're not going to yellow, crack, chip, split, or warp. Check them out at Relief Windows. Ask about their indoor shutters, their interior shutters now as well from Relief Windows. ReliefWindows.com. Okay, y'all, it's After Further Review, Friday edition, kind of a football Friday edition, a modified football Friday, but you got really for real football. We'll hit you with a Week 0 pick'em segment coming up to start hour number 3, just as a little bit of an appetizer. I can't wait to see who Theriot has lined up for the guest picker next week. Got any guesses yet for Theriot, Florida State next week, who Theriot's going to have lined up for the guest picker?
Man, what if he got like Charlie Ward or something?
Charlie Ward would be great. Coach Prime,
awesome.
maybe.
Coach Prime.
How about that?
Theriot does love Coach Prime.
There's no reason we couldn't. It's a Friday.
Yeah.
I mean, Colorado opens up. When does Colorado? They open up with TCU, but that's Saturday,
That's
correct?
Saturday, I believe, yes.
No reason why Theriot wouldn't be able to get coached. But yeah, that's an 11 a.m. game on Fox on Saturday.
Look, Jameis plays in New Orleans.
Yeah, let's get Jameis.
I mean, you get Jameis.
I mean, there ain't no reason why we can't get Jameis.
This is an hour, 10 minutes down the road.
Yeah. Okay. I can't wait. I just can't wait to see who Theriot's got for the guest pick. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. No
Always
doubt.
is.
All right, it's After Further Review. Let's knock out our final break here of hour number 1. Stick around.
AFR.
Get Gordon, get it done. Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. I always encourage you to follow Gordon on social media. All the social media channels at Get Gordon. And there was a great video that was posted it was a video clip from an interview I did with Gordon on our NIL podcast, Rosters to Riches. And he told the story about why he has chosen to market the way that he does, sort of blanket marketing. And he told a great story of the moment he made that decision. Go check it out at Get Gordon on any of the social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. You'll see the video right there. Really, it's great for any business owner, anybody who's trying to market anything. But the bottom line is that, look, Gordon's using his social media as a great way to share insight and info, legal tips as well, and, of course, members of the G team, which we're proud of. Hey, look, GetGordonBillboards.com. You want to design Gordon's next billboard? You can win prizes. Go to GetGordonBillboards.com. Get Gordon. Get it done.
Relentless reporting gets results.
I'm never going to stop until we get the answers you need.
Uncovering more as the powerful try to cover things up.
What happens in the dark will always come to light.
Founding new principles and practices for the state of Louisiana.
Chief Investigative Reporter Chris Nakamoto.
Chris Nakamoto and the Investigative Unit. Recipients of Columbia University's prestigious DuPont Award.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings,
burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Okay, wrapping up hour number 1. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Man, next Sunday, T-Bob and I will be at Don Juan Cigar Bar. LSU, Florida State, Whiskey and Wine returns. Make plans to join us after every single LSU game. As soon as the clock hits 0, we go live post-game from Don Juan Cigar Bar. So come join T-Bob and me all season long as soon as the game goes final for every LSU game. If you can't be at Don Juan Cigar Bar, join us on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel or the 104.5 ESPN Facebook page. We'll see you for Whiskey and Wine all season long from Don Juan Cigar Bar. Matt Rule, the head coach over at Nebraska, which is still kind of weird to say, gave an update on Eric Gilbert. Remember him? The phenomenal talented tight end, the former 5-star who signed with LSU, played part of that COVID season in 2020. He would transfer to Georgia, where he spent the past 2 seasons, only played in 3 games this past season for the Georgia Bulldogs. Re-entered the transfer portal. He's at Nebraska now under Matt Rule and is awaiting a transfer. Remember, a waiver. Of course, you're only allowed 1 free transfer under the portal rules. If you transfer a second time, you have to get a waiver to be immediately eligible. Otherwise, you have to sit out a year. That is, unless you're a graduate. Well, Gilbert has not graduated from college yet. He doesn't have a degree, so he's not eligible immediately as a graduate transfer. So he needs an NCAA waiver. And Matt Rule said, quote, "It's still in progress. We're hoping to have that over before we head to Minnesota." They play Minnesota in the season opener next weekend. Rule also said that if I'm trying to see the exact quote. He said that if Eric Gilbert doesn't get the waiver, then they shouldn't even have waivers in place to begin with. I don't even know why. I guess I'm going down the Eric Gilbert road again just because I think there's probably interest here because he was such an interesting character, a guy who was a 5-star, one of the highest-rated signees ever for LSU and had this incredible physical ability but just couldn't get it together at LSU or at Georgia. Now we're waiting to see if it can happen at Nebraska. And one of the things about Gilbert that's always perplexed me is how no one has ever actually written the story about Eric Gilbert. Whether people have tried and his family just haven't actually been willing to speak on the record about it, or whatever the case may be. That there is just something that has been confirmed to me, and that just should be blatantly obvious to everyone who has watched anything about Eric Gilbert, which is just, it's staring you straight in the face and screaming what's going on with that young man. But I wish him well, man. I don't want negative things for anybody in life. I want everybody to have success and be the best version of them and whatever they could be, and that extends to Eric Gilbert as well. It's disappointing it didn't work out here, but you're continuing to see a pattern with that young man. So I wish him well, and I hope he finds let's say stability in his life, both in football and just in life. So we'll let you know when we know what happens there with Eric Gilbert. Nebraska under Matt Rule opens up next weekend with a Big Ten game against Minnesota. It's going to be a fascinating thing to watch Nebraska, because Matt Rule turned around two of the worst program situations ever with Temple and what was going on at Baylor and made them winners. I have no doubt he'll be able to do it at Nebraska as well, just a matter of to what heights. All right, Theriot, hour 2 next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Mold Zero USA, mold-0usa.com, mold-0usa.com. Kill mold, remove odor, other harmful pathogens. I know I say this often, but it really doesn't matter what type of building. If this is your home and you have mold in your home, obviously it's a very serious situation. That could be, there's so many health detriments to you, to your family. You got to get that taken care of. Maybe it's an office building. I've had people who listen to the show who, churches and other facilities, apartment complexes, state buildings. There's not just in Louisiana, but all over. If you need to get rid of mold or odor or other harmful pathogens, Mold Zero is a great way to do it. It's minimally invasive. They're not cutting sheetrock and pulling up carpet. They come in, they close all the doors, they fog the room with their patented non-toxic dry fog. As soon as the fog dissipates, boom, you're free and clear to go back into a clean, safe building. It's Mold Zero, mold-0usa.com.
At Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, you can lease a new Toyota Camry for $489 per month. That's right, you can get a brand new Toyota Camry for only $489 per month. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is #1, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
The best-kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The entire roster of Spain's Women's World Cup title team, along with dozens of former players, released a statement today saying they will not play for the country again while Soccer Federation President Luis Rubiales is still in charge. Rubiales is taking heavy criticism for his actions during Sunday's postgame celebration. USC quarterback Caleb Williams, the consensus favorite to win a second Heisman Trophy. He's listed 15-4 at Caesars Sportsbook. ESPN's Heather Dinich, though, says there's plenty of competition.
You've got Bo Nix at Oregon. You've got Drake May at North Carolina. You've got Jordan Travis at Florida State. We could talk quarterbacks all day. Don't forget about running back Blake Corum at Michigan. How about Marvin Harrison Jr. at Ohio State? There's just too many great players across the country that are going to push him for that spot.
Heather Dinich, Ohio State's Archie Griffin is the only two-time Heisman winner in 1974 and 75. The New York Rangers hire Hockey Hall of Famer Angela Ruggiero as a hockey operations advisor. She played on the U.S. women's national team for 15 years.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Call him the Riot, born and raised in the swamps, gonna fight like a tiger, he going beast mode, baby he a beast though, what you think he supposed to do, you picture better reload, get the point.
After further review, the Riot Radio Hour with Matt Moscona and Ryan Theriot, presented by Alpha Customs. Alpha Customs, Prairieville and Lafayette, and online at alphacustoms.net.
How's your week going?
Week was good.
Yeah, good.
I did have a good idea. I'm full of good ideas.
Here comes Theriot, the throw. Not in time. Scudero delivers and the Giants lead 4-3 in the 10th.
The wake pool, although probably full of bacteria, flesh-eating parasites, and the occasional turd, provides endless hours of fun. It's not cool to have a 30A sticker on the back of your grocery go-getter. Big fan of the truck.
The Riot Radio Hour.
Theriot around third. He heads for home. Here's the throw. He is safe. Packers win. Packers win. Go.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Muse. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Yeah, bro.
2 weeks in a row. That's a streak.
How about it?
Let's go. Let's do
this
it.
Is this is back to back.
Back to back.
One more. You know what we call that?
What's that?
A winning streak.
That's it, baby.
You know what next week is, don't you?
It's action. We got action next week.
It is.
We got action.
Our first.
We got action.
Full Football Friday.
And you know what that means.
Guest picker time.
Celebrity guest picker.
We were talking about it last hour. Can't wait to see who you got lined up for Florida State. We thought maybe it's Coach Prime.
Maybe Charlie Ward.
That's what Muso said. We also threw out, look, Jameis is right down the road in New Orleans.
Yeah.
No reason you can't call Jameis. I mean, he's just sitting on the bench anyway. What's he got going
He ain't doing nothing.
Ain't doing nothing. Nothing but a G thing.
Marshall McDougal.
Nope.
You don't remember him?
Buster Posey.
Buster.
That's a really easy one for you. That's low-hanging fruit. What is Buster Posey doing right now?
I don't know.
Probably nothing.
I'll reach out to Buster and see what the deal is.
I think you could aim higher.
Like?
Any of the people we just mentioned.
Those aren't Hall of Famers. Buster's a Hall of Famer.
I got it. In baseball.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we're playing football.
It's a football game. Yeah.
All right, who else played football at Florida State? Warren Sapp. No, he didn't. He went to Miami.
Went to Miami. Chris Weinke, Heisman Trophy winner. Chris Weinke.
What a name.
Weinke. And he was like 30 when he played for him.
He was. He was like
good.
Joe's age. Who else we got?
Well, lots. But I tell you what, if you...
Ooh, I know who I'm going to get.
Who?
I know, I'm not going to say.
If there's somebody you'd like to see Theriot get as the celebrity guest picker, shoot me a tweet or X me.
Hey, Twitter. Oh, no, not Twitter. Hey, X world.
Oh, thank you, George, truly. Or you can text me, 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Who should Theriot get as the celebrity
Stephen
guest
Drew.
picker?
You remember Stephen Drew?
Sure, I remember J.D. Drew.
J.D.?
Who was better than Stephen, but okay.
Who else?
Lots of people.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Okay.
Week 1, let's go.
I'm really counting on you.
Warwick Dunn.
Warwick Dunn. Great option.
Warwick Dunn went to Broadmoor. Heck of a player over at Broadmoor. Atta boy, Warwick Dunn. Him and Kevin Franklin in the backfield. For the Bucks. Broadmoor Bucks. Shout out. Shout out the Bucks.
Shout out to Kevin Franklin, late Kevin Franklin. Rumble, young man, Rumble. Miss our guy, especially around football season,
Absolutely.
man. So while you percolate on that, what else is, aside from you spending a lot of time this week lining up guest pickers for the season, which I know you've spent a lot of time this week lining up guest pickers for the season. What else has been going on this week for you there, friend?
School just kicked off.
It did.
Yeah, so it's been a few weeks. About a week and a half, I guess. And then, school started on campus, which we're going to talk about that here in a little while. There's been an increase in traffic. And people actually had a meeting at LSU today. And, it was interesting, to say the least.
I'm glad you said that because I have something I need to add to my Kick Rocks.
So it's been a little bit busy in the Theriot household, but all good. There was some news though earlier, actually late last week, and then also earlier this week, and I'd like to address that publicly. It may ruffle some feathers, but I'm just gonna do it anyway, and I don't care.
Okay.
So last Friday, 196 of the 375 East Baton Rouge Parish school bus drivers called in sick.
There was my Kick Rocks that I was going to add, but I'll go ahead and scratch that because you're about to take this. I'll just step out the way. Go ahead.
It was called a sick out. You know what? We're just not driving the kids to school today. Enough is enough. We're not doing it. Bus drivers were and are frustrated over low pay and subpar maintenance of the buses. It's 10,000 degrees outside and the ACs don't blow cold. That ain't going to cut it, Matt.
Did we have AC on our buses? Did you ride the bus to school?
No, I didn't ride the bus.
I rode the bus to school. I don't remember there being AC on the bus. We just had those windows. You'd clasp them and pull them down. You'd get air flowing through the bus.
Yeah, no, we...
you know what I'm talking about, them buses?
Yeah, I know what
the
you're
windows,
talking
you go...
What you're talking about? Mm-hmm. It's called torture, is what that's called.
No, it was fine.
Yeah.
You're a kid. You're resilient.
Yeah, it's called... If you want to have a heat stroke.
I never had heat stroke, and I was a fat kid.
Summer is roughly 2 months, Matt.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that all those wonderful elected officials that we have with so much experience creating a strong public school system couldn't come to an agreement with the school bus drivers in order to ensure that the kids had a ride to school. It's just a small part. It's just a small part of the slow but obvious decline in the public school system in East Baton Rouge Parish, period. I'm a public school kid, through and through. Went to Broadmoor Elementary, went to Sherwood Middle, shout out the Falcons. Then I went, no, that's not what they do.
Is that a little bit?
Nah, I think they're like a screech. Yeah. Then I went to Broadmoor High School. Matt, I was a buck. Graduated in 1998, and I loved every minute of my educational experience.
Shout out Alan Stansberry.
Shout out Alan Stansberry.
Shout out Ryan Richard.
S.O. Ryan Richard. Keep going.
Shout out Trey Duncan.
Okay.
Shout out Lauren Keller and James Anderman.
Okay, who else? Who else?
probably it. Shout out Chucky's son?
Nope. Major Applewhite.
Where did Chucky's son go?
Parkview.
Sorry.
Heck of a player. Chucky's son, heck of a player. My guy can catch fish, man.
I think I'm at the end of my Broadmoor. Yeah.
Randy Theriot.
Shout out Randy Theriot.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
West Theriot.
Shout out West Theriot. Okay. Yeah. Austin Theriot?
Nah, he was a spoiled kid.
When you're the last, when you're the youngest, you get to go to private
he was
school.
a spoiled kid. He went to Dunham. I'm over there slumming, eating square pizza and stale rolls.
He's getting a $25K a year education at Dunham. Austin got all of it.
Yep.
You and Wes got none of it. Austin got all 100% of it.
Yeah.
You had to walk to school. He drove a Lexus, like his first car.
I mean, what are we going to do? Thanks, Mom.
That's so good.
It's the truth, and that's what it is.
That's absolutely the truth.
I know.
So
I graduated.
Give Mom and Dad about another 10 years worth of earnings,
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden, baby boy gets a little bit more.
And he did.
Oh, man, that's so good.
So I graduated Broadmoor in 1998. I loved every minute of my educational experience. As a matter of fact, Matt, I wouldn't change one thing from those years. Seriously, I loved it. From the teachers to the custodial staff, I considered them all family, and they all played a major role in creating the man I am today. The same can't be said in 2023. Unfortunately, teachers are running to private schools left and right. Poor classroom conditions and no community support have created a market like nowhere else I've ever been to in this country for the private school. It's a big business here in Baton Rouge because the public schools stink.
That's true.
Our public school system has let us down. Families are forced to spend money that they don't have to send their kids to private school because you guys stink.
Ooh, Bucky Richardson.
Major guy.
Shout out Tracy. And Billy Cannon Jr.?
Sure. Yeah.
Right? No?
Yeah. Leonard
he
Fournette?
just went to A&M. No, Leonard Fournette. They go to Broadmoor.
Oh.
Went to St. Aug.
Peyton Manning.
No. Keep going.
Busing is an example of the failure today, okay? Today. But in my opinion, it's more like the root of the problem. Are you ready for this, Matt? When community schools existed, kids would walk or ride their bikes to school. They would go to sporting events to support their classmates. Parents attended school functions regularly because there was some pride. I can remember Randy and Mary participating in work days over at the Broadmoor baseball field. Football games on Friday nights were standing room only, as the whole neighborhood would attend. That's the pride that makes a public school system great. And East Baton Rouge Parish has slowly eroded what was once some amazing atmospheres. Busing kids past their neighborhood school 15 miles away is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life. I'm not saying that's the only issue, but it definitely plays a factor. Throwing a couple bucks at an after-school program is not going to fix the problem. Organizing a sick out is not going to fix the problem. A leader that understands how and why you can send your kids to public school in Dallas and not worry about their well-being would be a good start. Someone who understands our neighborhood dynamics and structures programs accordingly would be a good start. But more than that, support from the communities surrounding these schools will undoubtedly make the biggest impact. How do you achieve that? Well, you got to give them something to be proud of. Facilities, faculty, and leadership is where I would start. Stop doing the same things over and over again. It's time to press the reset button on the public school system in East Baton Rouge Parish and clean house. Sincerely, Ryan.
Amen. Brought to you by Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. I mentioned this yesterday. I'm going to mention it even more because it's got a huge response. Hudco has, if you have a commercial building, we talk all the time about residential, roof repairs, roof replacements, all of it, Hudco Roofing. But Hudco obviously has a commercial division, literally any size building. Hudco has a silicone coating product. If you have a commercial building, you got to ask about this option because this silicone coating product is roughly half the cost of a roof replacement and comes with a 20-year warranty. I'll say that again. Half the cost of a roof replacement, 20-year warranty. If you got a commercial building, you need to call HUDCO and ask about that silicone coating product. HUDCOroofing.com. Anywhere in the state of Louisiana, do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing and HUDCOroofing.com. We'll dock at a quick break. Little kick rocks coming up. Got some Heisman odds. Week 0 pick 'em. Lots of stuff to get to.
Oh, yeah, big week.
Shohei's having another UCL surgery.
So sad about that.
So sad. Hate to see it. Texans, Saints, what to watch. Got a ton to do. It's AFR. Stay here.
AFR.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN. After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
so glad. Shout out whoever the person responsible back in 2018 for playing Choppa style at a Saints game just randomly, and the whole arena, the whole Mercedes-Benz at the time, now Caesar Superdome, fell in love with this song again, and it became an anthem, and everybody's doing the bike life dance, and like Choppa style has this whole new birth. And now I'll watch the Rouse's commercials, and it's like get your personal Choppa on the app and everything, and Choppa is in the commercial. Like, I love it. Whoever you are, whoever that person is, I don't know who it is.
Shout out.
Whoever that person is responsible for playing Choppa style on that fateful day in the Dome 5 years ago, respect to you. Shout out to you. That's what I'd like to say in this moment.
Yeah.
Shout out. Shouts out to you.
S.O.
S.O., bud. S.O. You've been following this Blindside thing. Did we talk about this at all last week?
A little bit.
I don't remember. Did we?
Little bit,
Did we talk about it last week?
A little bit.
I can't remember
if
we talked about it last week when you were here.
I've been following. I follow. So,
for those that maybe aren't familiar, just very quickly, Michael Oher, who was the subject of The Blind Side.
Good movie.
Great movie. He's filed lawsuit against the Tuohys, who took him in. I mean, I'm going to say not adopted because they didn't formally adopt him, but there was a conservatorship. There's a lot of things. Anyway, Michael Oher is saying they made a ton of money off this movie and he didn't get anything. I'm way oversimplifying it. Well, and I didn't comment on this because there's always two sides to every story. The Tuohys came out subsequently and were like, that's a joke. Sean Tuohy said on the record, like, the little bit of money we got was all divided equally among everybody. And even since Michael has refused the payments, we put it into a trust for his son. So anyway, there's always two sides to every story. Well, in somewhat of an unprecedented move, the production company that financed The Blind Side, Alcon Entertainment, ALCON, they released a lengthy statement, first of all, defending the movie's authenticity, which I think is important to them because they want the movie to continue to be perceived as success. And it was great. It's a great movie.
Good movie.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, Sandra Bullock won an Academy Award for that movie. It's great.
Good job.
Since the film's 2009 release, the release says Alcon, and they released a statement with all the payments, everything. They've paid $767,000 in talent to the talent agency that represent the Tuohys and Ohers, which has been divvied up evenly. Quote, it did not include significant payouts in the event of the film's success. As a result, the notion that the Tuohys were paid millions of dollars by Alcon to the detriment of Michael Oher is false. The Tuohys, Sean and Leanne, their two biological children, and Michael Oher each got equal payments of the payouts since the 2009 release, totaling about $767,000, split evenly among all. So no one, they haven't even collectively made $1 million, let alone the Tuohys pocketing millions at the expense of Michael Oher. So it's sad, man. I mean, I don't know what's going on with Michael Oher. He played in the NFL for a long time and made a lot of money.
I think he did.
No, he did make a lot of money. Whether or not he still has it, I don't know. But that's really unfortunate, man. Just how people go sideways for whatever reason. I don't have any other context other than to just say what we know now, which is they provided statements from that movie which validate the Tuohys' claim that nobody made a lot of money off of that. And if you're Sean Tuohy and you sold your business for $200 million, you think you're sweating 100 G's?
Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah, you're good.
Anyway, that sucks.
I mean, according to the movie, though, he got a lot of Taco Bell for free, too, though. You know what I mean? Like, could you imagine?
That is pretty cool.
Just crushing Mexican pizzas
did they bring those back? I remember
They're back.
You were hot
They're
when
back.
they got rid of the Mexican
They're back,
pizza.
baby.
Remember that?
Oh,
You
yeah.
were really hot.
And the Mexi Melt, too. I'm going to be honest. The Mexi Melt probably hurt worse than the Mexican pizza because it was cheap. Like, it didn't cost a whole lot.
You know what I love the most that is gone and may never come back is the double decker. Do you remember the double decker?
I know we've talked about this.
Shaq endorsed this. I was a kid when this happened. Shaq endorsed the double decker, and they had basically a taco, like a hard shell taco, and they put like that bean dip on the outside of it, and then they took a soft taco and wrapped the hard taco with a soft taco, and it was a great blend of the soft and the crunchy, and it was awesome. I loved the double decker.
Dude, there was a time.
They're gone.
There was a time about 2 or 3 years ago that you could still get the double-decker and the Mexi-Melt. Now, it had to be an OG in the back that's been there for a while that knew how to make it, kind of like an off-the-menu type deal.
I wonder. Does anybody know?
You got to ask. I've asked a few times for the Mexi-Melts, and I think that it's just turnover in the chefs and the chefs in the back.
Yeah.
They've moved on.
The expertly trained chefs.
Yeah, they've moved on, and so they just don't know that process.
If anybody knows if there is a Taco Bell that still exists where one might acquire a double-decker
Mexi-Melt
taco,
too.
I'm not interested in it.
Yeah, but I am.
But I'm not. I'm being selfish right now.
Can we ask for Mexi-Melt too, maybe? Just
mostly a double-decker.
But maybe.
And if they have time to consider a Mexi-Melt, that'd be cool too. I do love the Doritos Locos Tacos.
It would take me about a bite and a half to eat the Mexi-Melt. I mean, I'm just taking that thing, bro, to the dome.
When I was a kid, and we would have, sometimes like on Friday, we'd get fast food. Mom and dad working late, whatever. They'd pick us up. We'd have practice. It's like 7 o'clock. They just roll through Taco Bell.
Yeah.
All right, what's your order? We'll go home and watch TGIF, right? Here comes Full House and Family Matters.
It's good shows.
Just the 10 of us, whatever it was. Hanging with Mr. Cooper. You know. Cooper.
Wonder Years?
That wasn't on TGIF. TGIF was the Friday night shows. Wonder Years was like Tuesday night or Wednesday. Anyway, we'd roll through Taco Bell. Man, I'd get like 3 soft tacos, 2 double-deckers, and a burrito.
Mm-hmm. Soft tacos were like your appetizer?
Bro, your boy was such a fat kid.
Yeah, it's crush.
How did my parents let me eat that much food?
Well, you were getting your gains,
dude,
bro.
I was, dude. Yeah. I mean, well, then by the time I got to high school, then I was eating to gain weight.
I think it's called like a dirty bulk. You're doing your dirty bulk.
What does that mean?
Like when you're eating bad, but you're trying to bulk?
Just trying.
But you can do like a clean bulk, too.
Well, see, I had no concept of nutrition at that point, of like what to eat properly to gain weight. It was just I needed calories.
Yeah.
Like, because especially when I was playing line, I was trying to get bigger. I mean, I'm a by average size, I'm a big guy, I guess. I'm 6 foot 225, but by like offensive line standards, I'm small. So like, and then when you're practicing every day with pads, you have to gain weight. You have to keep weight.
You got to bulk, bro.
Well,
what better way to do it than some double deckers,
bro? I would crush. Oh my God. Anyway, all right. Last night went to the Queen, the new casino in Baton Rouge. They got a DraftKings sportsbook in there. Of course, we've been great partners with DraftKings since mobile betting went live in Louisiana. So download the DraftKings sportsbook app. Tomorrow's week 0. We got college football mañana. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow starts week 0. You got 6 games. It starts with Notre Dame against Navy in Dublin, Ireland. Fired up for that. If you're going to be locked in, make a $5 bet. Here you go. New customers, download the DraftKings sportsbook app. Make a $5 college football bet. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Make a $5 college football bet. They'll give you $200 in bonus bets instantly, win or lose. New customers, just download the DraftKings sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Make any $5 bet on college football. Any bet, $5 on anything in college football. They'll give you $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's only at the DraftKings Sportsbook with the promo code Baton Rouge. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football. Terms. Licensed partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-426-2537. All right, let's do Kick Rocks.
It's time to Kick Rocks with Ryan Theriot.
Kick Rocks.
Presented by Ruckus. Kick Rocks with shoes from Ruckus. Jones Creek Road in Baton Rouge. Or go to ruckus103.com.
Tom Brady can Kick Rocks. That's a standing Kick Rocks, but this one's
a perpetual Kick Rock.
Kick Rocks.
Did you prepare?
Yeah. Okay, you can Kick Rocks for being a middle midget.
Kick Rocks.
Costing your team 4 points.
They can kick a whole bag of rocks for that.
Get on down the road and kick rocks.
You watch the Little League World Series at all? No, of course you don't. You hate that.
The only bits of the Little League World Series I've seen at all is when the TVs in studio are on ESPN or when we're in studio, so then it's on up there. But no, I've not watched that.
I've been locked in. I like it. I've been locked in on it. I like to watch the kids from other parts of the country, and I like to watch the locals. We almost had a team from Ascension.
That'd have been awesome.
They were close.
I'd have been pulling. Remember a couple years back, the kids from River Ridge made it and won it. That was awesome. Yeah,
that's right.
I'd be fired up for the local guys. They made it.
So the team that Ascension lost to has been kicking everybody's butt, which makes me feel good and should make us feel good. You know, we had a good squad down. Anyway, there's a guy in Williamsport that walks around with a microphone in the stands and interviews parents.
Okay.
Sebastian Salazar is his name. Okay. He's an in-game reporter. Salazar. He's Latin.
Got it.
Okay.
Salazar.
So his specialty, I think, what I'm noticing is he goes to the international parents, the ones that can speak a little English, and he interviews the people and wants to talk about the culture and all this. But the problem is they really can't speak English. So Sebastian goes to this lady from Japan, okay? Sweetheart, I'm sure. All she says is yes the whole time. She has no idea what he's saying.
No.
Zero. He's talking about these rice balls that she made for the kids, and she's just shaking her head as he's hammering the rice balls. So I'm like, poor lady, like, you know, she's looking around for help. Nobody can help. Nobody knows what he's saying. 3 innings later, he goes back to her.
Oh, no.
Like as if nobody told, hey, bro, like, she didn't know.
It's not good TV.
Let's go find somebody else.
Listen to the IFB. Producers in your ear. Hey, buddy. Different parent.
So they're playing a
Sebastian.
team.
Sebastian. Hey, I don't think she knows what you're saying.
Yeah.
Hey, Sebastian. There's a hot blonde mom in row 3. Go talk to her.
Go talk to her. So it's Japan versus a team from Latin America. I can't remember who it was.
Sebastian, overzealous dad, section 4. Backwards hat, goatee, keeps fist pumping every time they throw a strike.
Go get him.
Get him on mic.
Couple innings later, your boy Sebastian goes for the Latin America. It's the Latin America team's turn to interview one of their parents. He goes and gets the overzealous guy you're talking about.
Of course he did.
And he's speaking to him in Spanish because that's his native tongue.
Sure.
And Sebastian knows Spanish.
Sure.
So this is good.
Great.
Problem is,
the viewers don't.
He didn't translate it back in English.
He's doing a Spanish language interview.
And I'm like, bro, you screwed this whole thing up.
Did you just go? You could have just been spending 5 minutes calling us all idiots.
Oh, Sebastian, kick rocks, bro. That was tough.
Kick rocks.
We touched on this a few seconds ago. If you're an LSU student and you're listening to this, please learn how to freaking drive. Please. Okay? Whoever created Baton Rouge and the road system and infrastructure and all that did a horrible job.
Yes.
We've talked about that.
Yes.
There's nothing we can do about that at this point. Okay? Unless we blow the whole thing up and start over, which we're not going to do. Now, you guys don't make this any better. Driving like a bunch of morons. I live in the area, and I don't appreciate it. And you guys can kick rock.
Kick rock.
The fact that it's been 100 degrees for a month straight can kick rock.
Kick rocks.
That's what I got.
All right. It's after further review. We're glad you're with us. We got some updated Heisman odds I want to get to when we come back. And I want to pick your brain on something.
Okay.
Because the guy who is leading the Heisman odds, the reigning winner, had some very interesting comments about the soon-to-be re-released EA Sports college football game. You have a rare perspective on his objection, which is why I want your opinion on it next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. You know where to find them. Agent225.com, agent225.com. If you're buying or selling, if it's commercial or residential, if you need a realtor, hire the best. Hire Darren James. You know, Darren thinks of everything to make the home buying, selling, and moving process easy. Do you realize every time someone buys a home from Darren, he throws a housewarming party for you and for 25 friends, relatives, has food and beverages and all stuff to welcome you into your new home. When you go to closing, he's got a gift, like a goodie bag, a housewarming goodie bag for you. Things like that. Thoughtful things that matter so much. Darren is contracted with moving companies to get you discounted rates on movers. Have an enjoyable experience when you get your new home. Call Darren James. Get your home sold.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7, The Tiger.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Week 0 is upon us. Got a handful of games on Saturday. Among them will be Southern Cal taking on San Jose State. Of course, that game isn't necessarily a marquee game, other than the fact that it boasts the reigning Heisman Trophy winner in Caleb Williams. Of course, Caleb Williams won the Heisman, and he has the best odds to win the Heisman in 2023. So to repeat, if you look at all the updated odds, it is Caleb Williams. This is from our friends at DraftKings. They've got Caleb Williams at plus 450 as the odds-on favorite to win it. Jaden Daniels has the second best Heisman odds at plus 1,100, followed by the likes of Quinn Ewers, Jordan Travis, Cade Klubnik from Clemson, Carson Beck of Georgia, Drake Mays down there plus 1,600. Anyway, point being, Caleb Williams, the best odds, followed by Jaden Daniels, which is really good. Caleb Williams was compared to Patrick Mahomes, and during his media availability, he was asked about that comparison. Here's what he said.
There's a sense of respect. I mean, he's the best player in the world right now. He does special things. His teammates love him. Everybody in the world loves him. He makes special plays. You know, the man has 2 Super Bowls. So to be compared to someone like that, it's a sense of respect, but it also is irrelevant because I'm Caleb Williams. I'm here at USC. I haven't even won a national championship yet. So it's respect and all, but, you know, it's close to irrelevance.
But he won a Heisman, and it's got a shot to win a second. I don't think Caleb Williams is going to win the Heisman this year. It's just there's a reason there's only been one 2-time winner in the history of the award, and Archie Griffin from Ohio State back in the 70s. Because when you win the Heisman, the expectation the following year goes up exponentially. People expect you to exceed, and we even saw guys like Matt Leinart and like Tim Tebow have better statistical seasons the year after they won the Heisman and still not win it. So Somebody else is going to win it. I don't know that Jaden Daniels will, but I think someone else will win it this year. I don't think it'll be Caleb Williams. But we'll get to see Caleb Williams in the season opener against San Jose State on, well, I guess many of us won't because it's on the Pac-12 network, and a lot of people don't have the Pac-12 network. But if you do, you can watch Caleb Williams on Saturday. But it was interesting, and I wanted to get your take on this because they're bringing back the EA Sports college football game. And Caleb Williams said that he believes certain players should get more than other players. So he's the reigning Heisman Trophy winner, and the way that it's set up right now is that everybody would just get a flat, every college football player who opted into the game, to where their name would be in the game, all that sort of stuff, they would get a flat equal fee. So whatever amount was allocated, however many players they get. So if it's $500, every player, whether you're Caleb Williams or a walk-on, everybody gets, I guess not a walk-on, but scholarship or whatever, would get the same amount of money. And Caleb Williams said he doesn't agree with that. He told our buddy Ross Dellenger at Yahoo, quote, "It's like if you go to school, you're a straight A student. There's a kid whose strong suit isn't school and gets B's or B minuses. How fair would it be if you get the same grade as him? That never works in school, and it doesn't make sense. That's how I look at the game, the situation with the $500, if everyone got $500. But it may be more, maybe less than that." So he's basically saying that it should be weighted based on your impact of how much you get. I wanted to ask you this because I know in Major League Baseball you have a CBA, right? Mm-hmm. And so there's rev share across baseball, and I think you've talked about this before, where it doesn't matter if you're the 25th guy on the Nationals or if you're Aaron Judge, the rev share is the same, correct?
Yep. Yeah, the licensing check. Yeah. So anything with the MLB logo, whether or TV or video games or whatever, merchandise. Yeah, I mean it's an equal share across the board, and it's a substantial number. You know, I guess, you know, when you're
do you remember what it was? So you would get a licensing check.
Yeah.
Just annually, you get one check a year?
Every spring training.
Every spring training, every player would get a licensing check.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter if you were Derek Jeter, shortstop of the Yankees, Ryan Theriot, shortstop of the Cubs, you got the same check.
So it's predicated on service time. In other words, the year prior, if you were up for all 162 games, you know, then you got the full share, assuming they distributed 100%. Baseball is a little different because they would hold back 20% each year leading up to the bargaining agreement in a war chest to
sure,
you know, fight the owners.
But the union did that as an which everyone understood. Sure, it's the expense of doing business.
The full share before MLB The Show and nationalized TV and MLB Network was about $75K. Was a full share. That included baseball cards. It included hats. Anything with the logo on it. Now, once MLB The Show came out, which was, you know, middle of my career, I guess, and MLB Network, it went up to close to 300.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, it shot up. That's when you started seeing Mercedes rolling up in spring training every year. You know, guys that go straight to the dealership, pop them a new ride. You know, they get the licensing check.
MLB The Show, it looks like, debuted in what's first release, it says, was June 30th of 1997. And then it said, I don't know why there's two dates here, then February 28th of 2006.
Yeah, 2006 is when I remember doing the stuff with the, you know, they put the little nodes all over your body and all that stuff. And so, yeah, so I guess that was it. That's when it was like real money, you know. Yeah. You know, to his point, I guess it's really hard, man, especially in college sports. I understand what Caleb is saying, and you know, when you talk about jersey sales and whatnot, of course, there's going to be more, you know, Shohei Ohtani jerseys sold than the last guy on the Diamondbacks roster. And you, looking at it, you would say, well, he deserves more of the money if they're selling more of his jersey, you know. But it's just college is difficult, man, and it's hard. And who's to say that one demographic or one area of the country is not supporting more or watching more, buying more of the games? I mean, from a contribution standpoint, yeah, you may be a better player than the guy, but I don't know how many people are buying the game specifically to play with Caleb Williams. There may be more buying it to play with the guy at Alabama or play there. I mean, the only fair way to do it is to make it equal across the board. There's so many variables that go into it. I mean, how do you determine contribution? Is it off the field stuff? Does that resonate more with people? Is it on what if Caleb Williams, gets hurt and can't play, and now we're committed to paying him all this money, so the equal share, I think MLB did get it right in this regard. And then also, if you're on the active roster, in other words, if you're on, how many players are on the collegiate football roster?
85. Yeah.
If you're on the active 85 roster, then you get that equal share. Now that number is going to be a lot smaller.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe
so many players.
$500, yeah, something like that, or less.
Well, you're not going to get rich off the thing, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
What about so what's interesting though is like jersey sales, as I understand it, players are compensated when their jersey sells. So like if I go to the LSU sports shop, yes.
Oh, cool.
And if I were to go to the LSU sports shop and buy a Jaden Daniels number 5 with Daniels on the back, Jaden would get a rev share on that sale, as I understand it. It's not like structured like it would be in the pros, where it's an equal rev share on all the licensing. And I do understand that. I mean, that's easy to track.
That's easy.
If someone goes and buys a Jaden Daniels jersey, he should be compensated for his likeness. I'm good with that. The game is interesting because just because it would be difficult to contract or determine relevance, it doesn't mean you don't try. And Caleb Williams, I think, is more relevant. So
look, I agree.
Why shouldn't he get a better share? I mean, I understand his logic. Finding that happy medium and that mid ground, I think, is a little difficult, though.
It's very difficult, and you're also going to create. I mean, you're going to create, and this was my fear at NIL, and it hasn't happened, at least from what we've seen. But you're taking the pureness of the sport and adding that financial aspect to it. We haven't seen it happen. At least it hasn't happened publicly. But you're just creating a dynamic in that locker room. Look, I've seen both sides. I mean, it's
we don't need to have I'm not trying. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying. I've seen both sides of it. This could create that. You go out there and have a bad game. Well, EA's paying you all this money. You stink. Yeah, I mean, it's just.
In theory, that could happen with anything when you talk about money. But that doesn't mean you don't cross the bridge. So, but with I would rather not get bogged down in the purity of the sport and the amateurism argument. We've had it before. NIL is what it is. It's not going to change. And I'm a free market capitalist. If someone's willing to pay you something, go get it.
I agree.
All right, it's after further review. Let's knock out a quick break. Wrap up with Ask Ryan next. So get your questions in. You can X us.
Hey, Twitter. Not Twitter. Hey, X world.
At Matt Moscona or text in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Ask Ryan next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Was down in New Orleans yesterday at a Rouse's Media Day. So they had all of their media partners down in New Orleans. We got to meet with and hear presentations from everybody on the Rouse's executive team. And the single most impressive thing that everyone said that took that podium yesterday, if I heard the word local one time, I heard it 1,000 times yesterday. They are so committed to local. Rouse's has been around since they were City Produce 100 years ago, but as Rouse's in the grocery business for 60 years, from Lake Charles to Orange Beach, Alabama, more than 60 locations. It is so impressive. And every decision they make about everything they carry, they start with the question, can we source it locally? So when you walk into Rouse's, you know you're supporting a great local business. Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home.
Bayou Ford has $8,000 off MSRP, plus 1.9% financing on new 23 Ford F-150 XLT trucks, along with Bayou Ford's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Was a humid day. barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The best.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
What song is this?
This is Rent, Big Frida.
This is a pretty good one.
With Big Frida. All right, let's get to Ask Ryan. You know what? I screwed up. Failed to acknowledge when we were doing Kick Rocks. Our friends over at Ruckus.
Oh, yeah, man. Come on.
Ruckus103.com, RUKUS. Ruckus103.com. What you got on today?
Today.
Oh, you got some Vans on. Look at you.
Today I got the Van. Just nice and easy. Just some little Vans.
Little skater boy.
Yeah, I'm a fan of these guys. I got these at Ruckus. Absolutely.
Of course you did. Ruckus is the best. Go get your sneakers. Get you some G-Nikes, some SBs. That's what all the cool kids are doing. You love their jeans over there, too.
I have bought a few pairs of jeans from Ruckus, some T-shirts. I mean, it's not just the shoes, but the shoes are...
Baton Rouge on Jones Creek, Lafayette, downtown, online at ruckus103.com, RUKUS, ruckus103.com. Go check them out. Okay, let's get the little Ask Ryan, get your questions in. Richard Talley says, Ask Ryan, do you think LSU women basketball can repeat in 2024?
Yes, I do think they can.
Shay Smith says, Ask Ryan, who got one in the World Series?
Oh, man. I don't know. I don't have a good answer.
Bro, just throw something out there.
Braves.
Okay.
I want the Braves to win, but I don't think they will. But I want them to.
Eric Gotro, Ask Ryan, favorite type of tacos?
I like ground. I like my tacos pretty regular. I like ground beef tacos. I think those are great. Although I do really like Torchy's. That's not ground beef. Torchy's is good.
Ask Ryan, favorite college football uniform that isn't LSU?
Penn State.
Kevin says, Ask Ryan, what's your favorite tailgate food? Man, you were just spitting them out today.
I mean wings and stuff, but if it's cold, I like a good gumbo if it's cold.
Jacob Falcon asked Ryan, did you ever play with yourself on MLB The Show?
No.
Evans Cavan asked Ryan, favorite game day food and drinks?
I guess beer for the drinks, and then food. I mean, something not super heavy, probably wings.
Nick Dana asked Ryan, Popeyes or crispy, crunchy chicken?
Crispy, crunchy all day long.
I'm so off of Popeyes.
Oh, yeah. Popeyes.
The experience I had
the worst.
at their drive-thru the last time, I literally drove off without getting my food, and I was like, I'm never coming back here again.
I haven't been to the one. Yeah, me too. It's the worst. Popeyes kick rocks. You guys are brutal.
It used to be awesome. It is not anymore.
The Blue Store's going to crush them.
By the way, the Blue Store, right by Ruckus.
Yeah. And right across the street from Traction.
Go get you some lunch. Oh, I was thinking of one on Jones Creek. There's one by Traction?
Brand new, baby.
Oh, I didn't know that. Ruckus on Jones Creek. Go get you some shoes. Go get you some chicken over at Blue Store. With you. All right, it's after further review. Hour number 3, staring you straight in the face. Our Week 0 Pick'em is coming up next.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffery in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. I was in there today. Every time I go into the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, and guys, I'm talking to you specifically, because I know a lot of men hear me say this, and you think, oh, an aesthetic clinic, that's got to be all women. Every single time I go in there are always a waiting room full of men that listen to this show who are the... Your hands in the air?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm that guy.
But you go for Botox.
Yeah, and some other stuff.
What else?
I had a hair facial.
Oh.
A hair facial.
A hair facial? I didn't even know they did that.
They did. Yeah, it was interesting.
Okay.
I don't know if it worked or not, but I think it did.
Simple blood test can let you know if you're a candidate for hormone replacement therapy, and everybody candidate for a hair shill.
A hair shill.
A hair shill.
Mm-hmm.
Hair shill.
Relentless reporting gets results.
I'm never going to stop until we get the answers you need.
Uncovering more as the powerful try to cover things up.
What happens in the dark will always come to light.
Founding new principles and practices for the state of Louisiana.
Chief Investigative Reporter Chris Nakamoto.
Chris Nakamoto and the Investigative Unit. Recipients of Columbia University's prestigious DuPont Award.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The new Women's World Cup champs from Spain won't play again for their country unless Federation President Luis Rubiales either resigns or gets fired. Rubiales is under scrutiny for his behavior after Spain beat England for the title on Sunday. The NFL preseason wraps up this weekend. The Jets play the Giants at the Meadowlands tomorrow night. Aaron Rodgers will play for the Jets. ESPN's Dan Graziano.
They have reached a point where they feel like what they need going into the season is some real game action with him at quarterback and all his guys around him listening to, his voice in the huddle.
Dan Graziano, this will be Rodgers' first preseason action since 2018. There are 3 games tonight. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reports Titans quarterback Will Levis not expected to play against the Patriots. Levis has a thigh injury. Late second round of the PGA Tour Championship, Victor Hovland holds the lead at 16 under after a 64 today. He's 1 shot ahead of Colin Morikawa. Feature groups and holes on ESPN+.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride.
You can't handle the
Riot Radio Hour.
Let's do that again.
Guess who's back? Back again. Lisa, I want some more.
The Riot Radio Hour, presented by ProCharge EV. Call 225-397-4593 or go to ProChargeEV.com.
Well, let's start the insanity. Giddy up.
Let me find out that ain't
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt. Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Ooh. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Yeah, bruh.
Yo, bruh.
So we got the Dunham Tigers tonight against the U-High Cubs.
Yep, little jamboree piece.
The Therios against the Hesters, like the Hatfields and the McCoys.
Is that Hester's U-High guy?
I believe Jake's oldest son is playing at U-High now. Really? I heard Hester saying he was going to the game tonight.
Okay, yeah, a little jamboree.
Catholic and U-High play this year as well, and Hester's brother Chance is now coaching at Catholic.
Oh.
So imagine the internal family feud with the family Hester whenever Chance Hester, orange and black, Jake Hester, black and gold for U-High, how that's going to go.
It's going to be tough. I mean, UHi's probably going to be trying to get a little get back because Dunham knocked them out of the playoffs last year.
Oh, did they? Okay, all right.
Yeah. So it was a spirited game over there at Tiger Stadium, part 2. Dunham knocked them out, so it'd be fun. We'll see what happens.
Oh, I remember. Didn't Catholic and Dunham play in a jamboree last year or 2 years ago, maybe?
Yes, good game.
Yeah,
good game.
You really got antsy about that.
It was came right down to the end, actually.
Yeah.
We had a drop pass, and we didn't win, but that's okay. I'm proud of the boys. Played hard. You know.
Go get it. Good luck to all the high school teams this season. Stay safe. Enjoy the experience, man. You'll never forget it. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Friday edition is brought to you by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Of course, Riot Radio Hours, presented by Alpha Customs. We know Theriot. You got a new truck?
Oh, yeah.
Did you lift it?
Yep.
Is that all you did?
Nope, not at all.
What else did you do?
Got some wheels and tires on that thing.
Put rims on it?
Yep.
What else did you do?
Tinted the windows.
Is that it?
For now.
Where'd you get it done?
Alpha Customs, alphacustoms.net.
Where are they?
Prairieville. Airline Highway in Prairieville. And we also got a location in Lafayette.
Are they online?
They're online. Alphacustoms.net.
What's that web address?
Alphacustoms.net.
That's the stupidest commercial
it's dumb.
we've ever recorded.
It's so dumb. But I will say this, what's not dumb is Alpha Customs.
What's funny about it is, so there was a very normal, standard commercial, which what we would call a reader, right? It's a script that Theriot read with talking points. And the Alpha, as I understand it, the Alpha Customs guys they wanted something just a little.
They wanted more.
They wanted more. And it's just tough when you don't get any creative direction. By the way, the Alpha Customs is not my client. I get nothing from that at all. I get zero. I literally was just helping you do a spot for them. I was like, I got an idea. Do you have it, Muse? Can you play it? And okay, well, it's somewhere. Okay, anyway. We'll just
we basically just did it.
If you haven't heard the spot, just imagine it sounded something like that.
Yeah.
Since we're apparently not going to play it. All right, hit the music, Muse. Let's do it. Week 0 every week during the college football season. We'll do our pick'em contest. I annihilated Theriot last year by 30 games. Paulie, do we remember what the final count was? Did Paulie leave? Oh,
he's sleeping.
Muse won't even try to get me the spot. Paul's asleep over there. What are we doing? What are we doing over here, guys? It's Football Friday.
He finished his
Let's
test.
Go.
Put his head down.
You didn't ask me if I can get it. You said, do you have it? I don't have it. I could probably find it.
It's like I got to remind you to wipe your ass, Muso. Come on, man.
I didn't know you were going to ask for it.
Doesn't matter. You could have said, hang on a second, I'll get it. But it's okay. Don't need it. Don't worry about it. Paulie. Didn't I beat Theriot by 37 games last year? Or was it 46?
I think he closed the gap at the end.
Yeah, so it got to 30, maybe 31. 31 games.
The gap actually, I would have won had you not cheated. But
here we go.
I did close the gap at the end.
You cheated line. Oh, here we go again. The old cheated line.
Yep. But I'm coming back this year. I'm ready. Let's go. Give me some games, bro. I've been researching. Come on.
All right, there are 7 games in week 0. So I figured let's just do all 7. Yeah?
Yeah.
Good?
Let's
do all
it.
7. Okay. Kick things off in Dublin, Ireland from Aviva Stadium in Dublin. 1:30 Central Time on the National Broadcasting Company, NBC. It is Navy and Notre Dame, the Irish and the Midshipmen. Who do you like?
Give me the Irish. Give me the Irish in this. I got a good feeling about the Irish. I don't like Notre Dame. I don't like the Midshipmen's offense at all. Navy, not good.
New coach there at Navy.
Nah.
No more Ken Niumatalolo. He gone. You know who the Notre Dame quarterback is? Sam Hartman coming in from Wake Forest, going to slang that thing. Yeah, give me Notre Dame as well. The second game of the day is a 4:30 Central kickoff on the CBS Sports Network, and I realize most of these games are hot piles of trash. But you know what? I don't care. I don't watch them all.
It's week 0.
I'm going to bathe in them tomorrow. I might not even put on clothes.
You shouldn't.
I might just sit on my couch.
In your sauna suit?
No, just butt naked. No clothes. And just eat and drink beer and watch football all day tomorrow.
You should.
And not even move.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. UTEP against Jacksonville State.
Oh, man. It's going to be a good one. Both these clubs coming off pretty horrible years. Give me UTEP in this one.
How in the world is UTEP favored in a football game? Any ideas? Anybody? I mean, how bad is Jacksonville State if UTEP is favored? It's only 1.5 points. But the fact that UTEP is favored is a road favorite at that.
Yeah.
Stunning.
They got some returners coming back. UTEP's good this year.
I'll take UTEP as well. Now, this is one that is another one that you look at and you go, how in the world does this happen? But New Mexico State is hosting UMass in what might be the biggest this might be, yes, the biggest pillow fight of the season. Do we think that this one could end up being these are perennial bottom 10 teams in the country?
And you can see it in prime time on ESPN.
It is on ESPN.
It is your prime time game on ESPN tomorrow night.
6 p.m. Central Time.
Who? New Mexico
the
State and who?
Against UMass.
Oh yeah, give me UMass in this one.
I'll.
Where is
They're
it?
playing at New Mexico State.
Oh,
there might be 7 people at this game. I mean, that is going to be embarrassing. I mean, New Mexico. You got to understand, these are 2 horrendous teams. I mean, these are like bottom 10 teams in the entire country. I mean, it's a pillow fight. It's flip a coin. Give me New Mexico State at home.
Yeah.
Who did you go with?
UMass.
All right, you went UMass. I'll take New Mexico State. Why not? Ohio U, the Bobcats.
Yep.
They're at San Diego State.
The
Who do you
Jimmy
like there?
Burrows. Give me San Diego State.
I am going to take the road dog here. I think we're a live dog here with Ohio. Ohio U on the road against San Diego State. That's at Snapdragon Stadium out in San Diego, California.
Beautiful
Give
place.
me Ohio U from the MAC going on the road and doing the deed.
They got some good garlic fries at Snapdragon Stadium.
Oh, really?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Okay. You been?
No, I heard.
All right, the big one.
Okay.
Hawaii at Vanderbilt. Capacity 28,000. Both end zones have been blown to hell, literally. They blew them up because they're renovating the stadium. And Vanderbilt hadn't done construction in their stadium in 40 years, so they didn't plan accordingly with their schedule. A capacity crowd of 28,000, which would make it the second smallest by capacity in college football for 2023. And Hawaii from the island going to Nashville. What do you think? The Rainbow Warriors or the Commodores?
I'm going to take the Commodores in this one.
Yeah. So am I. And I think maybe my favorite bet of the year, Vandy's win total is 3.5. I think they get to a bowl game this year. I think Vandy's going 6-6. I think they're going to beat Wake Forest as well. They're going to win their 4 non-conference games. And I think they can get 2 conference wins. They beat Florida and Kentucky a year ago. Somewhere they'll stumble into a couple of wins. I think Vandy certainly gets to 5 and might even get to 6 in bowl eligibility. But I like Vandy in this game against Hawaii, so I'm with you there. Okay. Heisman Trophy winner Caleb Williams. This is 7 o'clock on the Pac-12 Network. You got the Pac-12 Network?
Maybe. I've got YouTube TV. Do I have it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I have no idea. Muse, you got the Pac-12 Network?
I don't.
Yeah, Paula, you got the Pac-12 Network?
I do not.
I don't know if I do. I feel like I've watched something on the Pac-12 Network before. I got the sports tier package.
Yeah, you got it.
But I don't have the Big Ten Network. I actually don't know if I have it.
YouTube TV is the Big Ten network.
You got Big Ten
Yeah,
Network.
you have Big Ten network.
But this is Pac-12 Network.
Yeah, so that doesn't really help you.
That won't exist next year.
I don't have that.
It won't. So you really don't need it, Matt.
I don't know. Unless if I want to watch USC against San Jose State.
Yep.
Or I could go to Pluckers. San Jose State at Southern Cal.
Yeah.
Who you got there, Mr. The Riot?
I'm gonna take Southern Cal. I'm gonna take Caleb
By a
Williams and
scotch.
Southern Cal.
You like them by a scotch? They're a 31.5 point favorite in this game.
I think they're gonna do okay.
We'll go ahead with the Trojans in this one as well. Watch that USC defense though. Let's see if they've actually improved. And they were a big pile of trash last year. If you can't stop San Jose State, maybe bigger issues there for a team that fancies itself a title contender. They're at least interesting to watch. And then the nightcap up in Ruston. The Louisiana Tech Bulldogs hosting FIU, the Panthers.
Ooh, man.
The Golden Panthers? They're the Golden Panthers? They are the Golden Panthers, yeah.
I feel like I've picked every home team.
Are you going to go against Sonny Cumbie?
No, because I like Sonny.
I know, me too.
We had lunch with Sonny.
We did have lunch with Sonny when he got that job. Went to TJ Ribs right there on Acadian.
Is FIU any good?
I have no idea. Why would I know anything about FIU? I think FIU is historically trash.
Don't they have a good baseball team?
Muse, does FIU have a good baseball team?
They had a really good player who went 11th overall to the Angels and is in the bigs now.
That's not the question.
Well, that's all I've got for you on FIU's baseball team.
We'll answer the question.
I'm gonna have to go say no.
Okay.
Give me Tech.
FIU last year was 4-8, and they were 2-6 in their conference. Their 4 wins were against Bryant in overtime. They beat Bryant in overtime. New Mexico State, the aforementioned garbage program of all garbage programs. They beat Charlotte, and they beat Louisiana Tech last year in 2 overtimes.
Yeah, give me Tech.
Wow, so this is a little bit of a get-back game
This is a
for
get-back.
Tech.
Absolutely.
This is a get-right game for the Bulldogs. Yeah, give me Sonny Cumbie and Tech. I like them year 2. I think year 2. You know who else Tech has now? DeColdis Crawford. Remember DeColdis?
Yeah.
Was an LSU commit, flipped, went to Nebraska for a year, left Nebraska. He's now at Tech.
Good for him.
Yeah. Go ahead, DeColdis. All right, it's after further review. It's our Week 0 pick'em. We'll really get it cranked up next week for keeps.
Oh, yeah.
With our Week 1 pick.
But these count, though, right?
Do you think they should?
I do. I think they should all count.
Okay. They should count. Theriot agrees. They all agree. They count. Okay, Week 0 counts.
Okay.
And next week, Week 1, our celebrity guest picker.
Yep.
Can't wait to see who you got.
I'm excited about it. We're going to start the year off with a bang. I can't set the bar too high, but it's going to be a good one.
You were so good a few years back. I think it was 19. I think it was 2019 when you just slayed it. Or was it 18? One of those years, you just crushed it.
Had a good year, huh?
I mean, you just actually took it seriously. And, I mean, you got Charles Barkley, and I think we had Shaq. You had Gary V. We had Randy Moss, remember? I mean, you just crushed it one year.
Evander Holyfield?
Evander
Holyfield?
Evander
Holyfield.
When that was 18 is when they played Georgia.
Yeah. Had Hootie.
We had Darius Rucker. Yeah. I mean, you can do it.
I can do it. I'm going to get back.
You can do it.
I can do it. I agree.
You can do it all night long. It's after further review.
AFR.
Brought to you by Pluckers. If you don't have the Pac-12 network, if you don't have any of those other random obscure networks, the CBS Sports Network, and you want to watch, you want to imbibe, you want to binge on Week 0 football because you have waited 8 long months for college football to return, and now here it is at your doorstep, and the only barrier, the only deadbolt lock is the fact that you don't have any of these networks. I got a great solution. Go to Pluckers. 28 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, a full-service bar, and every single college football game all season long on every single network will be on TV at Pluckers. So get by either location. Nicholson just south of campus or Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. That Bluebonnet location is a 13-foot by 8-foot TV wall. Are you kidding me? One place to find it. It's at Pluckers, where if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Bayou Ford has $8,000 off MSRP, plus 1.9% financing on new 23 Ford F-150 XLT trucks, along with Bayou Ford's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
It's a pretty cool story. Next year is the centennial anniversary of Tiger Stadium. Did you know that 2024? 1924 is when Tiger Stadium opened. The old girl will turn 100 years old next year. And there's a bipartisan effort in Congress, which was launched by Garrett Graves from Louisiana. And it's a bipartisan effort. Garrett Graves is a Republican. And then Mark Pocan, who's a Democrat from Wisconsin, they joined to start the Historic Stadium Caucus. And so they're working to assemble a bipartisan group of congressmen and women working to preserve the legacy and protecting the integrity of treasured venues across America. So basically, they're trying to preserve historic stadiums. My contention has always been, so they're talking about safety and security enhancements, technological upgrades, funding for infrastructure upgrades, a lot of different stuff like that. So the great news is that something like that is aimed at preserving Tiger Stadium, right. Make sure that it's always around. And it sounds silly to think that they would ever tear down Tiger Stadium, but the thing that I always say whenever any of these conversations ever come up is they tore down Yankee Stadium. If they tore down Yankee Stadium, the house that Ruth built, they will tear down your stadium, whatever stadium your stadium is. And we had this conversation a few weeks back because Florida, the University of Florida, is looking at large scale, like $300 to $500 million worth of renovations to Florida Field, Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. And one of the considerations, one of the conversations that they had, even if loosely, and no one thinks it's actually going to happen, but one conversation is building a new stadium. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of Florida people melted when they heard that. And the thing that I'll say about Florida Field or Tiger Stadium or any stadium is they tore down Yankee Stadium. Like, it's not the same as tearing down the Metrodome or the RCA Dome or any of these other crappy domes that were built during the dome boom in the 70s, like, in lieu of new palatial venues that you see all over the country. But, man, they will tear down anything if it means progress. I'm not telling you that's happening in a year or next year, but something like this tells you there is a very real and public push to preserve these stadiums. That's great for Tiger Stadium.
I think it's great. And when they did tear down Yankee Stadium, it really pissed me off. I never got a chance to play in the old Yankee Stadium. I just missed it. I actually played in the first game.
But Interleague was around.
We never played. I never
played there. Wow.
Never got a chance. I played in the first game ever played in the new Yankee Stadium. It was a.
Did you really?
It was right before the season started. It was like a whatever.
Like a scrimmage.
Kind of.
So it wasn't a real game. It didn't count.
It wasn't. It did. The game did not count. It's like we broke camp from spring training. We went played those guys, and then we started. Like 2 or 3 days later in our hometown. It was pretty neat, but. Yeah.
It was 09. I mean, I know. So you were still with the Cubs in 09.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Yes, I was. I agree with you to preserve those stadiums and that history. Walking through Wrigley Field, walking through the halls from the crappy clubhouse, and just thinking that Ernie Banks and all these storied players, actually Babe Ruth, walked through these same halls. It's a cool feeling, man. So to do that, I think is important.
Well, I mean, look, you played at Wrigley. You played at Dodger Stadium when you were at the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
But the other two, you played with two other historic franchises, the Giants and the Cardinals, and both of them have seen their historic stadiums. Well, I mean, obviously the Giants from when they were the New York baseball Giants. I mean, in San Francisco, they played a Candlestick, which was a dump, and I think both franchises are better playing at their new venues. The ballpark in San Francisco is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I would say the same for Busch in St. Louis. But their historic stadium has been torn down as well. So,
I'd like to know, at what point do they go, okay, we got to tear this thing down? You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's different in the pros because in the pros, so much of what the game has become is just amenities, right? It's so important in you all right?
Yeah.
Oh. It's so, well, I just lost you. It's so important, right? In, when you're asking someone to pay the dollar value that they are, you have to offer them amenities. You have to offer them suites and premium seating and all that stuff. And that's not conducive in all of it. What would you do in Wrigley to add premium seating and suites and all? You can't.
Well, no, I mean, it got to a point there, honestly, like our batting cage was in right field. We had to walk from the clubhouse, from our clubhouse, which was behind the third base, on the third base side, across the field to walk to the batting cage behind the right field
Is
wall.
it still like that?
It's not like that anymore.
Okay.
They've changed it. But in every other park in Major League Baseball, there's a batting cage, like the clubhouse, cafeteria, food room area and all that, batting cage.
Yeah, I mean, you see it all the time, right? Guys they'll go in the clubhouse to go take, if someone's going to DH or something, they go warm up and get their swings in, yeah?
Yep, Dodger Stadium, same way. So Dodger Stadium, you had to walk, 300 yards up under the stadium to get to a little bitty stupid batting cage. So it's not only from a fan standpoint, but from a player's okay, how do I get prepared? Free agents don't want to go play there because there's nowhere to hit. You can't get better. You can't work on your craft. I mean, so I don't know, man.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's a little bit of like a catch-22 there then, because it sounds like you're saying on one part you love the history of playing at Wrigley Field, but you're saying it's not good. Free agents don't want to go there. The facilities aren't good. The amenities aren't good.
Yeah.
So
I personally appreciate the history and the feel and the smell. And I mean, I thought that was great. Now, it was really cool to go to Milwaukee and Miller Park that had all the newest stuff, nicest stuff, and game room and arcade and all that junk in the clubhouse. I mean, it was pretty awesome. But I appreciated the history because I'm a collector and I love the game and but
what was the best venue you played in?
Man, I loved Milwaukee. I really did. From an amenity standpoint for the players, they just did a hell of a job. Food all the way, And when I say amenities, this is like shower on down. You know what I mean? Like Colorado, for instance.
Sure.
They had the best shower. They had the best products to put, to wash your. Yeah, it's just little things that you kind of take for granted. You show up in the clubhouse. There's a toothbrush that's brand new. They have all this stuff for you. Certain franchises just did a really, really good job of like making you feel at home, and then others were absolutely terrible.
What was terrible?
Cincinnati was horrible. Couldn't have been worse.
Even the new park?
Yeah. I mean, the park itself was okay. I mean, it wasn't great. It was okay. But just from an amenity for the player standpoint, just to make you comfortable, I mean, they weren't interested in that whatsoever. The White Sox, terrible. That place was
I
brutal.
could see that. I've been to that park. That's one of those weird tweeners where it's their newer park when they replaced Comiskey. They replaced Comiskey early mid-90s maybe. Not 93, 94.
It was just a dump.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what a place was a dump was Oakland. Oh my God.
Well, yeah. I mean, of course.
Holy crap.
That's why they draw 10,000 people and they're moving to Vegas.
God, that place was so bad. Terra High School's field was better than that.
I mean, that was another thing, like the dome era, and you had the multi-use complexes, right, where you play football and baseball. I mean, that was that era, and there's just so few of those that remain for obvious reasons because it's terrible.
Miami was awesome. Miami's new deal, really awesome.
Well, they're trying to preserve all the old stadiums. What if they tore down Wrigley one day? Fenway?
Fenway would be tough. That would hurt. Wrigley and Fenway would hurt.
Those are the last two.
Yeah.
And that's it. In football, there's Soldier Field is kind of Lambeau, I guess. It's hard to imagine them tearing down Lambeau at this point. I mean, they've done so much renovate. Like the great thing that they did with Lambeau is they built basically a new ring of suites and then another deck of suites. So it's just all premium seating that they've added to Lambeau.
Where do the 49ers play?
They built a new stadium in Santa Clara, Levi Stadium. That's right. But like the guts of Lambeau is a total dump. I mean, when you go into the guts of the stadium, to go to the bathrooms or the concessions, it's awful. But the stadium, building all the premium seating, and then everything they've added, like the Hall of Fame and the restaurants, what they've added onto the outside the whole facility. But I'm just talking about when you go to a game and you have to get up and go pee or go get concessions, it's terrible. Unless if you're in the premium seating, but they have lots of premium seating. So Lambeau and Soldier Field, and Soldier Field is a brand new stadium.
Yeah.
I went there in 2006 when the Saints played in the NFC Championship game, and they kept the columns, from the Soldier Field, but they basically just gutted everything in the middle and built a new stadium just with the columns around it. So it's basically a brand new stadium.
That's how you do it.
I mean, that's really what they did. So anyway, all right. I found that interesting. So if you just joined us and missed that, there's we were supposed to do Tigers and the Pros here. I'm sorry. And I went real. I didn't intend for that to be the whole segment, but we ended up going down what I thought was a really interesting rabbit hole there with Theriot talking about stadiums.
Yeah.
So there's a bipartisan effort in Congress led by Garrett Graves of Louisiana to preserve historic stadiums, and Tiger Stadium is one of them. So I think that's really cool. All right, it's After Further Review, brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, williamsoneye.com, williamsoneye.com. I've had LASIK. Paulie got his LASIK done a couple of weeks ago now. Or no, it was last Thursday, yeah? So Paulie is 8 days. Hey, Paulie, are you clear yet? Are you still a little fuzzy?
The left eye is a little fuzzy still.
A little fuzzy on the left, the right sharp?
Right eye is pretty sharp.
Give it it's like 2 weeks. Every day it's just a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. And then before you know, you were seeing like superhuman vision. I just can't recommend it highly enough. Whatever is the thing that's keeping you from making that call, if it's you're scared of the laser, you're worried if it would wear off or any of that sort of stuff, you got to punt all that. Just make that call. Go for a consultation with Dr. Blake Williamson at the Williamson Eye Center. Call 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com. That's williamsoneye.com. Okay, it's After Further Review. All right, we'll let Muse do Tigers and the Pros when we come back. We also got to do our what to watch for the Saints and the Texans. You going to be locked in on Sunday night? Saints, Texans, final preseason game. C.J. Stroud, Ohio State, rookie number 2 overall pick, on the field in the Dome.
That guy stinks.
You want to go? You and me? We'll make a run down to New Orleans, go watch the Saints and the Texans?
When is it?
Sunday.
Sunday?
I could probably get us in. Probably get us really good
like this
seats
Sunday?
Too. Like Sunday, yeah.
No, I've got something.
Oh, really? Any other Sunday but this Sunday be good for you?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Are the Saints even any? I mean, are they any good or?
What do you think?
I don't know.
Are you going to start your whole hate train on the Saints again?
We'll see. We'll see how this first few games go.
I don't know, bro. It's funny. Like, as much as I love the Saints, and you know that I love the Saints, like, people think that I'm a hater on the Saints now because I'm not, like, just completely guzzling the Derek Carr Kool-Aid like he's going to lead the Saints to some great season. So people are like, oh, you hate the Saints.
You hate Derek Carr?
I don't hate Derek Carr.
You just don't like him that much.
What's not even that I don't like him very. I just think he's got a low ceiling.
Oh.
He does. He's got a higher floor, but a lower ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think the division's going to be very bad, and I think with Derek Carr, the Saints have the best, most stable quarterback situation. And I mean, everybody in the division last year was under 500. I think Tampa's trying to tank. Carolina's got a rookie quarterback. I don't think Atlanta's any good at quarterback with Desmond Ridder in year 2. So the Saints should win the division. But if you win the division at 9-8, are you really any good? You go to the playoffs and you get punked by a good team and you're out. So what did you do? All right, you're barely above 500. You made the playoffs and you're out. Are you any closer to winning a championship? No. You're an old team with a bad cap situation and an aging quarterback. That's facts.
Whoa.
It's facts. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by ProCharge EV. ProChargeEV.com. I had a message today from a listener in Tennessee who said, hey, Matt, own a business. We got locations all over the country. We've been talking about putting EV chargers. Will ProCharge come to Tennessee? Absolutely.
Yeah.
ProChargeEV.com. ProChargeEV.com. The way I say it often is it doesn't really matter if you drive an EV. You just have to acknowledge that when you go on the road anywhere, you can't go anywhere without seeing EVs. They're everywhere. And every manufacturer is ramping up production, and the government is investing in infrastructure. So if you own a commercial building, you got to have chargers. You just I can't imagine managing a hotel or an apartment complex or having a grocery store or some type of without electric vehicle chargers as an amenity for customers or employees or as a revenue generator. Learn more. ProChargeEV.com. ProChargeEV.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review.
Diamond.
Talk to me now. Cruising down the street.
Real slow. What the fellas be yelling?
Morale. Talk to me now. Cruising down the street.
Real slow. What the fellas be yelling? Morale.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Who would play week 2? Let me see if I can get another one.
Hey, we're live on the radio and on TV and on YouTube and on our app.
So everybody's hearing MC Thick right now?
Everybody just heard you through a yawn say, who do we play week 2? Grambling. So Theriot, so if you were here last segment, I looked at Theriot and I said, like, did I lose you? I feel like I just lost you. Because we're I'm looking at him and he's on his phone texting and like looking away and just not, I could just tell was not paying attention at all to what I was saying.
No.
And that's just distracting for me, which is what, like, so I got kind of off my spot, off my mark. But you were actually booking our guest picker.
Yeah, prep.
For next week.
Yep.
And you got him already.
Got him. Got him, baby.
And by the way, I'm not joking. Like, you actually did get our guest picker for next week already.
Done. Locked in. Locked him in, baby.
And I'm actually really excited about it. And it's not a name that we mentioned earlier.
No, and he's like an all-time great.
It's an A-lister.
Like, it's an A-lister.
It is a sports A-lister.
Yeah.
Undeniably sports A-lister. See, this is what I'm talking about. Yeah. See, when you lock in, man, look at you. You feeling good again?
I am. So
Look
Grambling.
at you.
I got to get to work on Grambling.
Look, Grambling, there's a lot of ways we can go with Grambling. Maybe not. Maybe there's one. Maybe
so
there's
maybe there's what ways.
Maybe there's one way we could go with Grambling.
Oh, I got one guy.
Who you got?
He played quarterback.
Yeah? Yeah. Did he win a Super Bowl with the Redskins?
He did, but I don't.
That's the one way you can go with Grambling.
But I don't have him though.
Oh, that's doable.
Is it?
Talk to Slimbo. Talk to Ronnie Rance, Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame.
I'm not talking to Ronnie until I get into the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame.
Okay.
So.
Well, he doesn't vote.
Oh. Well, I talked to him last week, so maybe.
Yeah, okay, so maybe.
Okay. You know what? Maybe I will talk to him.
Okay.
He looked great too, by the way.
I saw him. I saw him at the press conference on Monday.
Ronnie looks
with
good.
Jay and introducing Nate Yeske and Terry Rooney, and Slimbo came set right by me. I was like, Slimbo, like looking like he's back at almost to his playing weight.
But here's the thing: when bigger people lose a lot of weight, a lot of times they don't look like it doesn't look.
No, he looked good.
Look good on him.
Yeah,
he looks good.
Look really good.
Shout out Ronnie.
Muse, Tigers in the Pros. We're only an hour late on Tigers.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Run through some NFL for you from last night. Mike Jones Jr., the Atlanta Falcons. Mike Jones Jr.
281-330.
4 total tackles in the ball game. A sack as well for Mike Jones. 3 of those tackles were solo.
What?
You what?
Oh my!
Quan Alexander on the other side for Pittsburgh registered 4 tackles. One of those being solo. I lost my spot.
Oh, I got a good one.
That's never good. Okay, so we're moving on from that. I don't know what I was doing anymore. Andrew Stevenson, a couple hits last night and 5 trips to the plate. Also drew a walk, and his team, they were victorious. Both hit singles for Steve-O. Let's see, Michael Papierski, 1 for 2 on the night. Drove in a couple, though.
Boy, Pap.
Drove in a couple and drew a couple walks in that one as well. 272, really solid year in AAA for Pap. Jake Slaughter, he didn't hit it on the highway again. Actually, he didn't even leave the yard. It's the first time in 3 games he didn't leave the yard, but he was 2 for 5 and did score a run in the ball game. Both of his hits were singles as well. Tour championship over at Eastlake. Sam Burns, another round of 4 under. He sits at 8 under par overall on the week. In 11th place, 8 shots off the lead of Victor Hovland, who's at 16 under. Moving day tomorrow, anything can happen. And our girl Sha'Carri Richardson back on the track today. The 200 meters, she took bronze, 21.92 seconds. But with the medal, Sha'Carri Richardson becomes the first American woman since 2011 to medal in both the 100 meters and the 200 meters
How you doing?
at the same World Championships. Of course, taking gold in the 100 meters. She's 23 years old. Really bright future there for Sha'Carri Richardson.
Gold in the 100.
Gold in the 100.
Bronze in the 200.
Yep.
And she still has relays.
Yeah.
She ain't done.
Not done. Her first World Championships, by the way.
Shout out.
That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com, LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gentlemen, you're thinking of popping the question. Go where Louisianians have gone to get engaged for 40 years. Thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. 2 locations in Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans, and Shreveport, and online at LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. We're going to wrap up with Ask Ryan. So get your questions in. You can email us. You can tweet or X.
Hey, Twitter. Oh, no, not Twitter. Hey, X world.
You can hit us on the X at Matt Moscona, or you can text 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. So we've got our guest picker lined up for the Florida State game. I'm excited about that. Grambling, everyone, of course, is going to default.
I think I got one, but it's going to be tough. If I can pull this off, I don't want to say it.
So I just looked up notable alumni. Did you do that too? Who did you see the first name on the list? That's when I went, oh, that was my reaction.
Who was it?
I did not know this, but Grammy Award winner Erykah Badu.
That's who I was. I know. And
she attended Grambling but did not graduate, but it counts.
I'm down the rabbit hole right now with her.
You're already down the rabbit hole.
I'm down the rabbit hole.
Who do we know that could?
I got a guy.
You got a guy?
I do.
Oh, I know who your guy is.
I got a guy.
I know who your guy is. It's the guy that knows everybody.
Yep.
Like Guy to the Stars.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got a guy.
Well,
and that would be huge. That'd be big. Big.
Erykah Badu is 52 years old.
She's a guy.
No.
I mean, she's not a guy,
Nope,
but
she's not that.
But,
No. But I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. After further review, can you spell Erykah Badu?
ERYKHA.
A-H.
K-A-H.
Badu.
B-A-D-U.
Got it. You misspelled it. Sometimes people misspell Michelle as well. M-I-C-H-E-L-L-I. And sometimes people have also misunderstood that I'm saying Michelle weighing and measurement, not Wang.
Wang.
Michelle weighing and measurement. If you weigh or measure something, they sell, service, rent the products used to weigh and measure. The time I met Joel McMullen, he said their slogan at Michelle, we show the world what measurement can do. I highly recommend, if you're not, follow Michelle's feed on LinkedIn. They do some really, really creative content on LinkedIn. You would think, what could really be creative around weighing and measurement? They do it. Things like, some really interesting things like the world's largest crawfish boil, like weighing all of that out, or measuring the world's largest pizza for the Guinness Book, and like really fun stuff. And then other things you just wouldn't consider. But bottom line is, whatever industry you're in, you need on-site calibration, you need precision measurement devices calibrated. They do it. They can service any make and model that you got. It's Michelle Weighing and Measurement. Michelle.com. Michelle.com. Okay, we're gonna knock out our final break of the show. Come back. We'll wrap up the show with Ask Ryan. So get your questions in for Theriot. You can ask him anything about anything. Week 0 is upon us. We got college football tomorrow. We get the Saints and the Texans on Sunday. Sunday night football. How about that? You fired up for it?
Oh, yeah.
You want to go?
Nope.
I can get us in.
Nah, I'm good.
I can get us good seats.
Maybe next time.
I could probably get us, bring the kids.
They can go. I've got somewhere I got to be. Sunday afternoon.
Watching the History Channel?
No, I really do.
Watching documentaries on the pyramids or aliens?
That would be nice, but no.
All right, wrap it up next, AFR.
AFR.
Y'all, it's Friday. Getting into Friday night. You look for something to do?
Mm-hmm.
I got an idea. Go to Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel. You've heard me talk about Tallulah a ton. You're driving home right now. It's 5:48. You're having the conversation. Hey, let's go out to dinner. Let's not stay in. Let's go. What are we going to do? Go to Tallulah. If you've never tried it, try it tonight. Make tonight the night. Just go to the Renaissance. You know where it is. Blue Bonnet, right there across from the mall near I-10. Beautiful hotel. Tallulah is right there off the lobby in the Renaissance. They have a chef-inspired menu. Chef Jason Aber did an awesome job. From Baton Rouge, went to Redemptor, shout out, trained in New York City, San Francisco, points in between. Has a phenomenal casual upscale dining menu and a great bar as well. Tons of whiskey options, craft beer, wine, indoor, outdoor flow and vibe. You'll love it. Make tonight the night you try Tallulah inside the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
All right, down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Friday edition of AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. A week from Sunday, T-Bob and I will be at Don Juan Cigar Bar for Whiskey and Wine. Yes, we will be doing Whiskey and Wine for the season opener on Sunday night. So we will be at Don Juan. Come join us for Whiskey and Wine after every single LSU game at Don Juan in Baton Rouge. We're looking forward to seeing you there. Austin, ask Ryan, both fully healthy, Ronald Acuna or Shohei Ohtani?
Well, it just depends, Matt. If you're wearing a pair of Haspel socks, the ones that I really like are they have the little fleur-de-lis on them. They're pink. If Shohei's wearing the pair of Haspel socks and Ohtani's wearing the seersucker shirt, I'm probably going to go Ohtani because he's decided that the pucker of his material on his shirt is important to him. He doesn't want it to be super hot, and I'm going to go Ohtani.
Got it. Dion Santiago asked Ryan, did you know Paul Gervais is a dude with the Brooklyn Cyclones?
I know Paul Gervais wears the Porges drawstring beach shorts.
Muse, did you know that Paul Gervais is with Brooklyn Cyclones?
He's not, though.
I know. We got to tell our guy.
Yeah. He's now with the Binghamton Rumble Ponies.
How about that? The Rumble Ponies.
Oh, yeah, the Rumble Ponies. And they shop at Haspel, too, the Rumble Ponies.
The Rumble Ponies, do
Yep,
they?
the Rumble Ponies shop at Haspel. They go to Haspel.com, the Rumble Ponies do. As you should.
What?
Go to Haspel.com.
Oh, I thought you meant that I should become a Rumble Pony.
I don't know, but you should wear a seersucker.
Ask Ryan, favorite shrimp dish?
Ooh, man, if I'm wearing one of the polos from Haspel.
So stupid.
That's true. If I go to Haspel.com and I buy one of the polos or a knit shirt or just one of the T-shirts, I like... I'm going to say fried shrimp.
Got it.
Go to Haspel.com. Haspel.com.
What's your code?
Riot 10. Go to Riot 10.
Use the code Riot 10.
Yeah, use the code. And look, up to 70% off on selected items at Haspel.com.
Muse Pauly, thanks. Go to Haspel.com. See
you. AFR.
Run to my Traction.
Yeah.
You wear Haspel to Traction?
You should.
Really?
100%.
That's a good thing to do when you're working out at Traction?
If you're going to sweat, you should be wearing seersucker from Haspel.
Traction.com. Tractionsports.com, excuse me. Tractionsports.com. Traction, where champions are made. Seriously, though, and I've said this several times, a major kudos to Mac Chiuili, to you, to RC, to everybody that's had a point in growing Traction to what it is, because
Eddie, let's shout out Eddie.
Shout out to Eddie Parfait.
Cressy.
Brad Cressy, of course, because Traction has become a resource for our community, for youth sports, which is obvious. I mean, the investment in the turf fields at Traction, the physical therapy clinic. I mean, there's a reason why youth sports and professional athletes in every sport come and train and rehab at Traction, because it's just what an incredible resource for our community. TractionSports.com. Traction, where champions are made.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Bayou Ford has $8,000 off MSRP, plus 1.9% financing on new 23 Ford F-150 XLT trucks, along with Bayou Ford's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not